Okay, what's up, nerds? Welcome to Game of the Year 2017 for NGR Radio. And there's Matt. Yep.
Happy New Year.
Woo! It is
January 1st, 2018.
January 1st, 2018. Happy New Year, everybody. We're recording the show, obviously, before January 1st because nobody wants to be hungover on NGR Radio.
I was on call last night, so I haven't drank.
Oh, well. Yep. I'm off, so it doesn't.
But I'm doing it now.
Yeah. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrigan, alongside me on this Game of the Year journey, as always, Matthew Keel.
Cheers, sir. Cheers, Moose. We did this again.
And Moose Pool. Another year.
Oh, actually, Corey and I did this again. We picked up some herpes named Moose along the way, and we're so happy to have him. we have our weekly flare up.
Yeah. We dropped a Joey and gained a Moose this year.
Well, New Year's resolutions, right?
Right. Maybe this year we'll drop a Moose and gain I don't know. No one.
Giant bomb.
You can drop a Moose.
We're not dropping a Moose. We would not drop a Moose. Moose can drop us. We'd understand.
Dropping a Moose.
We don't drop a Moose. Yes, I have a new poop lexicon. Thank you so much.
There you go. I gotta go drop a Moose. There you go, buddy.
So before we get started, how are you guys? You guys good?
I'm great. I'm great, man. You know what? I'm great. I had a day off. I played some games. I cleaned up the game space. I ran the vacuum.
Nice.
Got a new smelly plug-in thing. Makes it smell nice in here. I'm wearing my new jacket my mom got me for Christmas. So
see that? I was gonna say, is it cold in your house?
It is a little bit, but I would rather it be cold and then wear a jacket than
layer.
Oh yeah, it's easier. It's easier to have layers that you can remove.
Yeah, my grandma always said you can always put stuff on, but you can't always take stuff off.
Yeah,
well, you can. It's just you might get arrested. So,
or he might be that personal space guy from Rick and Morty. But that's a deep cut.
Anyway,
so, anybody play anything? Anybody do some last minute crunching for this list or no?
Yes, I have done so much last minute crunching. I got a bunch of games.
I love Moose's face. Moose is. I mean, like literally, if that head shake could have subtitles, it'd be like fucking deer egg.
I got a bunch of games for Christmas. I can't help it.
What'd you get for Christmas?
Injustice 2.
Okay.
Great game. Wolfenstein 2. Concerned.
That game goes to places.
Finished up Assassin's Creed. Played some Steve World Dig 2. Also,
yeah, that game goes some places too.
It's
that was a late entry, wasn't it?
It's an all right game. Let's see what else. I played one other thing. Oh, Gravity Rush 2. Great game.
Yeah.
Great game.
I still need to play those two, but anyways, go
ahead. Logged into Destiny and bought my guaranteed exotic engram that's guaranteed to be something different again last week. 2 weeks in a row. Different? 2 weeks in a row. Got something I already got. Just saying.
Destiny for the win.
Yeah.
And they said it wasn't fixed.
Yeah, it's not fixed.
Yeah, I know.
Look, I rolled in with my Titan because I want the Helm of Same 14 because it's back. And I logged in with my Titan, put on my special gear. Got this. Not only did I get an exotic that I already had, I got an exotic that I was currently wearing.
Oh, that's the best. Oh, that's the best. Oh, that's EA loot box level. That's
Man, I don't know. Man, I'm sorry, man. I can't. Like,
I'll bet you Moose could tell you a game where that wouldn't happen.
Destiny is a fun game to play. It is just infuriating about all the things that are, man.
Corey, come play Warframe with us.
Oh, but
it's free.
There's a Warframe loot box for free if you're a PlayStation Plus member, right?
There's actually two.
Yeah.
There's one currently, and then there is the second one is coming out Tuesday next week.
Double your pleasure, double your fun. Nothing.
I'm always a game behind you guys. I got Bloodborne. You guys started playing Fortnite. I started playing Fortnite. Now you guys are moving on to Warframe.
If you haven't listened to the episode last night, but I am not deleting Bloodborne.
There you go.
Bloodborne because I have that list, which would be I am not giving up $50 to Jeff or Jason because I couldn't complete my list. So that would be my deterrent from playing Bloodborne. So I will only be playing it to help you or Alan Hennon or Jesse White or possibly anybody else that would need some help.
Any of the hamburgers that want a platinum, we're here.
Or just even to beat it, because I know Jesse just wants to beat it and be done with it. I'm like, you're so close. We beat the Abridus.
Oh, jeez.
He's like a hop, skip, and a jump from the end. Not even. He's like right there. Like,
that hunter could drop its pants and piss and hit the end.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like right there. So we just haven't found time. But anyways, you were gonna say, Corey?
I don't even remember that now.
Don't worry. We'll get you a platinum in Bloodborne, Corey.
You'll get that sweet platinum theme, buddy.
Sweet platinum. Yeah. By the way, Injustice 2, that story, not as terrible as I thought it was going to be. It's actually really, really fun. Really
Wasn't the first one really good?
Yeah, I would say the first one's better.
Okay.
But this one picks up right where the first one left off. And it's really weird though, because like even though it's continuing the same story, all the characters look different from the first game. Like aesthetically, like literally
their looks.
All the characters look different. And it's like, okay, I get it. You want to make it look cool and like updated and everything. And like Superman looks like Henry Cavill, which is really like throwing me off too. But like,
do they have a CGI'd out stash? Did they get rid of its stash?
It's better than the movie, but yeah, I went there. The animation in the game is better than the CGI mustache. But
they should have just been like, shave it, motherfucker. Or you're done. But I think he's done doing the Superman movies.
Nope, he's got 2 more movies.
He's got 2 more movies?
Yep.
Jesus.
One's going to be whatever the Justice League sequel is, and then a Man of Steel sequel.
Yeah, because I know, spoiler alerts, he's not fucking dead from Batman versus Superman. So.
What?
Of course he's not dead. Duh.
What? So,
Dude, Superman died in the comic books like 9 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 7 of those times were after he died in the early 90s. And it shocked the world or whatever that they killed Superman with Doomsday or whatever.
Move over, Charlie and Todd. We're talking Secret Friends Unite now.
Yeah.
Bitch.
What?
I'm on issue 5,000 of Spider-Man reading.
No, don't start mocking them. No.
It was a joke, man.
I know, but I'm still.
It's a joke. They know. I listen every week.
I'm
a huge fan.
Me too. We can mock Lisa all we want, though, right?
Maybe this is why the internet hates me. Yeah, I got another message today. I wasn't very happy about Game of the Year, but that's okay.
What?
Like, did you see all the comments? Why can they vote for more than one game? What if everybody votes for everything?
Okay.
I'm like, okay, it's still a point system.
Yeah.
So,
congratulations, they're all tied. Break it. Whatever.
That's why we can't have nice things on the internet.
Well, it's just like everybody's gonna complain. That's why I just don't even acknowledge. But
what have you guys been playing?
Moose?
I have been playing a little bit of Bloodborne.
Okay.
So on the holiday sale, I picked up Final Fantasy 15. I just picked up Elder Scrolls Morrowind. Picked up Rise of the Tomb Raider, Ruiner. So I'm like, and Yakuza Kiwami, I think it is.
Yeah.
Anyways, so bolstering the backlog. I'd like to hit those games this year and try and beat them. But I think actually Yakuza is on my list. Jeff put it on my list because he knew I bought it. Well, actually, I put it on my list because I just bought it. But anyways,
I want to play that and Zero.
So yeah, I want to play Zero too.
Zero looks so good.
So I played a little bit of Final Fantasy 15. Didn't get past the tutorial. Been playing some Elder Scrolls Online, enjoying that. Earth Atlantis, it's fucking always. So I messaged Matt and I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, Earth Atlantis works exactly like Bloodborne. If you die as you kill a boss, it still counts. And he's like, what? And I was like, all right, listen. I had like level 4 homing missiles. I was trying to kill this motherfucker. And he got me with like one of his little missiles because I wasn't paying attention as I should. And all 4 of my homing missiles launched and went after him. And like as I died, he died. And then it like showed like when you kill a boss, like usually the area near him like opens up, like a wall collapses and it opens another part of the map. And so it did that, and it dropped another like homing missile power up. So I think you could get like level 5 now with the power ups. I'm not sure if they can now. Okay, all right. So it's just still four levels. I like the bouncy thing. Like the bouncing bomb is really cool. So I was working with that. So then I got through like 2 more bosses, and then I got to the one that like does the spin attack. So like he spins and rotates into you. Like I came around up the entranceway and came in, and I didn't even know what he was, and he shot up, spun right in me, and I was dead in like a second. I was like, okay, so that's fun. So now I'm kind of stuck at him, but I've been playing Earth Atlantis. Kind of went back to Xenoraid. I was telling you guys in the chat, our chat on Facebook, that's a lot of fun. It's a pretty good shoot 'em up. You basically get 4 ships you can swap from, and then you can level them up as you earn currency for missions and stuff like that. And then I played some more Golf Story, which I need to beat as well. But other than that, mainly Switch.
Yeah.
So, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Switch as well. I worked 15 hours on Christmas Day, and I don't like holidays very much. But I played, I finished Never Stop Sneaking, and
Did you like it?
I loved it. That game is so much fun. That game is a lot longer than I think it needs to be, but I never found myself going, man, I'm tired of this. Right. Like I thought like I think the same criticism could be leveled at that and Golf Story for the amount of golf you actually have to do in Golf Story. Ironic, but I feel like the as tedious as both kind of become, and I know I'm gonna contradict myself, I never found myself like angry with it. And then I ended up getting super deep into The End Is Nigh,
which I still want to pick up.
And that game. It eventually did to me what Meat Boy did, what Binding of Isaac did, and yeah, Edmund McMillan he's one of those people that any game I ever hear of him being attached to, I will play it. And I'll play a lot of it based on reputation of those 3 games. Also,
does it instill confidence in the fact that Super Meat Boy Forever is going to play really well on the Switch? Because doesn't it have kind of the same game style?
Yes and no. It's not as fast. It's not as fast. But like,
okay.
I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. There's if I were going to say that game is the end all be all of whether or not Meat Boy Forever will play well. It's going to play great based on just that game. But yeah, no, that game is so much fun. And I also played. I've also been playing Dark Souls 3, The Ring City.
I did restart a character too. Yeah.
That DLC, like, I was if I didn't want to obey my own rules, The Ring City might be my game of the year.
So let's. Sorry, Corey, we're gonna hop down our Blood Souls rabbit hole here.
It's fine. I gotta go get my math making machine for our game of the year stuff. So
okay, yeah.
Speaking of math, you know what game has a lot of math in it? Dark Souls. Let me tell you.
He's got to go make some coffee. He's got to go finish shoveling the driveway. I mean, he's got a lot of stuff to do. You got time, buddy. You got time.
I got time.
You got time. Would it be? Was that a great end to the Dark Souls series for you?
Yes.
I mean, I don't think it's going to end because, from my understanding, From Software has just developed it. Bandai Namco, did they own the IP? Don't they, or is it From Software owns the IP?
I'm going to assume From Software owns it. I don't know to that detail. I know that Bandai Namco published it. And the reason they did Dark Souls is because they did not own Demon Souls.
Right, because Atlas does.
Yeah, Atlas owns Demon Souls. But like, if we are to take anything from the history of From Software as a developer, though that the series might end very much like Kingsfield ended, but it might come back as something else because there are weapons and characters that stretch back even to Kingsfield that are still in Dark Souls.
Okay.
So I mean, my assumption is, the Shadows Die Twice thing. My assumption is it's a new IP. It's not the Return to Kingsfield. It's not going to be Demon Souls 2. It's not going to be Bloodborne 2. It is a new IP that will probably bear some resemblance to games that have come before.
Right.
So I just think that's kind of how Miyazaki works, and I feel like I'm ready to be comfortable with that.
Do you think maybe he's throwing it out there that like it's kind of like it'll be kind of like a Dark Souls games where you can only die twice and that's it. Like you're kind of moving towards a permadeath type game. I know those take off because I know there's games out there that's like if you die, you can never play the game again. Like I don't know how well that game did. I think it kind of bombed. Like people were like, "Oh, that's a great idea," but it didn't sell really well.
Yeah, that's a great idea if you don't have enough. I mean, unless you, that's a nice trolley idea, but at the same time, I think you want people to play your game.
Right. So I think what he would move towards would be, you got 2 lives. That's all you got. Like the old school games. Or maybe you got 2 lives and you Shadows Die Twice, and maybe you're kind of a shadow in the world that you're taking on, and it's it could be Dark Souls-ish.
Mm-hmm. I mean, essentially, that's just a play on what Dark Souls is anyway. It's a play on what Bloodborne is.
It's something he moves away from too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, maybe he just goes and maybe it's a fucking Super Mario type game, side scrolling. You know what I mean? Like you never know, and that's what's
he's gonna make the most ridiculous. He's gonna say, "Hey, Meat Boy, I'm gonna make the most ridiculous platformer ever." What?
That's right.
What? And you can only die twice in this mug. You all gonna hate me.
Yeah, but motherfucker, we'd both be playing that.
Hell yeah! I'd probably buy it till I bought it or till I beat it, which would probably kill me. But and that series in general has given me just it's been one of the weirdest formative moments in my gaming habit. Like it sort of reminded me as to why I like video games in general. And I think that the Ring City specifically has put out probably one of the let's see, 3 of the best boss fights in the series, one of the best NPC fights, and found a way to make that story as obtusely cohesive as they could. And it is, I mean, you know, I've been toying with the idea of just writing like a thank you piece to From Software, because that series did a lot for me. And I look forward to playing it more, and I really hope the rumors of a Dark Souls remaster, I don't care if it's on Switch, I would just like Dark Souls remastered just so I can play all 3 of them on PS4. That would be cool. I hope that happens, but if it doesn't, life goes on.
Yeah, we'll move on to something else.
And then
Gambit if it comes out.
Exactly. Or Dead Cells if it comes to PS4, because I'd really play that.
Salt and Sanctuary, actually, platinum.
Yeah, Salt and Sanctuary is good. I will say this: I did play a cool board game called Clank. That has a lot of Spelunky elements to it, but it also has. I mean, it's just kind of like a race where you go in, grab as much treasure as you can, and go out. And you have to get out before you die. And then once you get out, you start messing with the other people playing. Oh, it's a good time. It's a good time. Is that everybody, or have we not asked what Corey's playing?
No, he was crunching for the game.
I know he was doing his numbers thing.
Well, no, yeah, he said what he was playing.
Yeah,
okay. That's everybody. That's all 3 of us.
Well, Corey, what do you say?
Yeah, I suppose we can get this discussion started. Okay, so if you didn't join us last year, here's how our Game of the Year discussion works. We have narrowed down our top 10 plus some honorable mentions. We'll do a quick run through of our honorable mentions real quick. And then, what is that head shake?
Come on, man. There's a Facebook message with the running order. We're going to do 10 through 6, then our regrets. 5 through 2, honorable mentions, and then our 1. Honorable mentions and regrets do not affect the math. Come on, man.
Okay.
I regret never reading the Facebook messages.
Well played, sir.
Okay. Matt, repeat that.
Okay, so here's how we're going to do it. We're going to do a round robin.
And me. Mostly for me.
We're going to do a round robin where each of us goes 10, 9, 8, all the way to 6. And then we will take a break. We will talk about our regrets, like what we wanted to play but didn't in 2017. And then we will do 5 through 2. And then we'll talk about our honorable mentions, things that didn't make our 10, but are definitely worth people's time. Then we will do our number 1. Our math is only affected by the actual top 10. 1 gets 10 points, 10 gets 1 point, and then you could figure out the math between there. If you can't, I'm not going to sit here and explain it to you. You'll figure it out. And
then I will run through the top 10 of our community poll.
And that breaks any ties.
Yeah. Yep.
So
sure does.
So without further,
like how Matt got screwed out of Dark Souls last year because
Jesus God, that still pisses me off.
Nobody picked Final Fantasy 15 as their game of the year, and just by sheer points, it won.
Yeah, nobody did.
Won.
Yeah.
But Daniel was
that was the first time the engineer community let me down. No, I'm kidding. They keep watching.
Oh, I'm just kidding. We love our friends.
I do. So, without further ado, what do you say we get to our top 10 of 2017?
You know I can just add all these sound effects. You don't have to play it through your phone.
It's no fun. Okay, there we go. You listen to Fanfare of the Common Man. Give us some respect. God damn it, Moose. Because the only good music you like is ABBA.
No, that's not the only good music I like. It's the only good music you and I both like.
Oh, boy.
Oh, is Pearl Jam bad all of a sudden?
Touche.
I saw Mamma Mia twice. So.
Is Led Zeppelin bad all of a sudden?
They're making a sequel to Mamma Mia, I think.
I know.
They should not.
My wife's super excited.
That's all right.
Everything in the entire world.
Anyways.
All right. Who's going first?
Mooses. He's the newest guy here. Of course.
So are we doing? What do we do? So number 10 first?
Yes, 10? Number 10.
Yes.
So.
Oh wait,
we're going number 7 first.
Before we start this, like if.
Well, I didn't know if we were doing honorable mentions. You fucking.
No, we're doing. Oh God, Jesus. I don't know why I explained anything.
I wasn't listening.
I know you weren't. I figured that out now. I thought. But
fucking anyway. Is posting shit to my timeline. I gotta laugh at that shit. You gotta look at that meme. It's hilarious.
Okay, hang on. So what we're gonna do, the way we're gonna do this is, if you say your 10 game, everybody else just sort of let each other know, like, hey, that's higher on my list. Can we talk about it then? It's not really to take any wind out of anybody's sails. It's just sort of to
move things along.
Yep.
Yeah.
Move things along. No, I agree.
Right. So Moose, you're number 10, sir.
Strafe.
Nice.
That's higher on my list. Can we talk about it later?
Okay. Hey, Corey's a lion sack of shit. Moose.
Yeah, he hasn't even played it.
He doesn't know. He can't even spell strafe.
Shit, that's bad. It's that Ohio.
Right. I probably spelled it wrong on my math paper here in front of me.
I picked it because it's got some roguelite to it. It's got some good. Yeah, that's what I told you. Is that not fucking hilarious? He's
Alan.
I gotta get him back now. I gotta do something this weekend.
Is that our game of the year cover photo for the YouTube video?
Yeah, there we go. So I picked it because it's a great roguelike game, but it's also a throwback to the classic 90s shooters like Doom, Wolfenstein, toward when they came out later. But it's a fucking cool game. And so like you basically are a scavenger and you get dropped, you go and you're moving through the levels on this ship. Nice. Yeah. Anyways, and you can pick a weapon to start with. So it's like shotgun, laser gun, or an assault rifle. And you just pick weapons up as you go through and fight enemies, and then you go to the next level. There's bosses and all that stuff. It's a fun game. Pretty much, Matt, I think it's my version of Spelunky. Not as in like I play it a whole hell of a lot. Just the fact that it's something that I'm never going to probably beat just because it's going to take a lot more time and skill than I would, really, really want to invest in it. That's why it's number 10. It's a great game, but it's 10 on the list, but it's definitely worth a purchase if you can find it. And it's also published by Digital Digital Revolver. Like they're digital. Yeah, thank you. I just had 2 beers and hadn't eaten anything. So anyways, they are awesome. I love all the stuff that they put out. I can't wait to see what they do next year. So it's definitely, it's got a great sense of humor. Just go watch the trailer for it. The trailer for it's fucking awesome. So that's my number 10. Matt, what's your number?
I can't wait to see their E3 conference again.
Yeah, that'll be hilarious. Oh, they're gonna do something with loot boxes.
Oh, I hope so. My number 10 is Wolfenstein: The New Colossus. Is that higher on anybody's list?
Only number 10.
Only number 10.
It doesn't even make my top 25 for the year, and that's including games I played from last year. So no.
Well, okay. Well, you're wrong. No, this
Nope.
game, I don't. And as I said in our spoiler cast, I think the mechanics and gameplay are not very good. I will say this: the way that they told that story, the way that they built that world, and the way that everything sort of fits the tone of the times we live in. There are a lot of layers to that story, and I think that is a giant leap forward for video game stories. And it won't be the last leap forward in my mind on my top 10 list. But that game goes some places, and I have no regrets about playing it on baby mode because I didn't like the shooting. I just did not like it. I know I'm bad at shooters in general, but like the mechanics didn't feel like they were on my side, or at least they didn't feel like they were built in a way that it was going to be easy. So but that story is fucking cool. There are so many great characters in that game. There are so many great lines of dialogue. There's so much there, and people should play that. And I have a feeling that, a few years down the line, when they're actually when you see those online classes we can make video games today, I'll bet you somewhere down the line they will be teaching that story somewhere and say, this is why this is important. Yeah. Corey, our fearless leader, you're number 10.
Oh boy. It was between this and one of the other games in my honorable mentions, but Destiny 2 is my number 10 game of the year. I was debating whether or not to even put it on my top 10. And I was really sitting down to think about this. I was like, look, I thought Destiny 2 was amazing when, we first started playing it and we were grinding with your clan and getting to raid ready and just experiencing the raid and all the communication that is required and how everybody needs to be on point all the time is that's a multiplayer experience that you don't really get anywhere else outside of grand MMOs like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy or anything. And something definitely unique to consoles, really, unless you're playing something smaller like Helldivers or I've heard people even compare stuff like Overwatch to it, but it's still not the same. It's you're communicating all the time. You're learning how to use the gear that you have to make your character more efficient, and you're learning all these puzzles on the fly, and it's really an experience that is nothing like anything else on console. And it was a blast to play until you really start digging into the minutia of what's really wrong with the game. And it's still a fun game to play. It's still one of the best console shooters, I feel in terms of the feel of the guns and running around the world and stuff like that. So Destiny 2 is my number 10 game. I think it's got a long way to go to be the game that Destiny 1 ended up being, but it's still a fun game to play. So yeah.
All right.
Number 9.
Bagels on some cream cheese again.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess that would be me. Number 9 for me is Mages of Mystralia. So
tell us about this.
So I picked it up because Dan Adelman, who did a lot of pimping, which was great. Nothing wrong with it. Did a lot of pimping he's old school. He's done a lot of pimping for Axiom Verge. He's working with the team that's doing Chasm, helping, so his link is, okay, we've worked to get Axiom Verge on the Vita. and it's the same engine that Chasm's using. So maybe the Chasm will come to the Vita, or maybe it can come to Switch pretty easily. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a port out that's possible. But anyways, he's working with a team that's doing Chasm, but he worked with his team to make Mages of Mystralia, and it's a cool game because you work through the game and you get certain spells, and the story is basically like mages are kind of like outcasts, and so you're trying to move through the world and trying to help people. And then as you level, you could put points into different things. So you could have a fire spell that and you could take a point and be like, okay, well, I want it to be 3 instead of 1 big fireball forward, I want it to be 3 fireballs. So it's a spread shot. Well, then I want the center one. You can level and put points to be. I want the center one to be a bigger ball, and the 2 side ones to be smaller to do less damage. Kind of like a AOE type effect. You could also put points in to where the two ones on the outside curve. So like they curve instead of just like going straight out. So you can. It's insane. You can do spiral effects to your spells. So you pretty much have like full control over like what your spells are doing in the game when you decide where to put your points. So I thought that was pretty cool. But you don't see a lot of games where you can add like an effect to a spell. Like you get a spell in Skyrim, like flame, and it's like pretty much flame and you're done. You know what I mean? Like you get the spell and that's it. You get the spell in another game, that's the spell and you get. Usually the only thing that happens is the damage of it increases. So I thought it was a cool idea. I wanted to pick it up to to support his cause and play it. So it's got a platinum, so I want to try and platinum it next year if I'm not busy playing 20 other games. But anyways, that's my number 9.
My number 9.
I hope it's easy to spell, unlike that last one.
Prepare to get angry. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Whoa, that's low.
Yeah. I won't go into it because I'm going to assume it's higher on both your lists. When I went through about 15 versions of my top 10 list, and each time I wrote one down, I threw it away and then tried to think of my top 10 again. And every time I got to more games before I got to Horizon. All that said, there's so much about that game I enjoy, and we will go into it when it comes up. My number 9, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay. Yeah, because it's on my list later. And I'm sure it's on Corey's list later.
Yeah, dude, yeah. Wow. No, that just...
Both of you are like, wow, Matt's on his stuff again.
I'm legit surprised. I thought that was going to be in, like, your number 2 or 1.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you had asked me in as recent as October, you would have been there.
I think I know what his number 1's going to be. So.
All right. So my number 9 is Super Mario Odyssey.
It's higher on my list. I'll at least.
Yeah. I knew like this game wasn't going to be ranked very high when I started playing it, just because like it takes a lot for a Mario game to blow me out of the water if it does. And like this one it's a good game. It's a well-designed game. Like the levels and everything are really well-designed, and the moons and stuff. Man, it was super overwhelming to a point where like I honestly didn't know if it was going to make my top 10 list, just because I had so much more fun with other games. But yeah, we'll talk about it later because I know it's higher on people's lists. So yeah.
Number 8.
It's Moose's turn. He's just sitting back like, yeah.
Relaxing. My number 8 is Fortnite Battle Royale. I know, it's rough because it's like a free version of a game that I don't even own. I don't own Fortnite,
It's not even technically released yet.
Yeah, it's not even technically released. It's in beta. But you know what? Fucking neither is PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. You know, I mean, it's not released either. So I've had a lot of fun playing it. I think it's a very interesting game. I think it's more intricate it's deeper than PUBG, just because you have a building mechanic to it. Like you could build stuff and all that stuff. Like you could build a fortress to be around. You could build ramps to get up to areas, to get into houses, and get to your treasure boxes. So, and it's a lot of fun to play multiplayer. You know, like you're playing with your buddies, and so you're like, okay, we're in a squad of 2. You know, see how long we can survive. And usually, I'm in the top 15, or we're in the top 15, top 10, and then we just die because we're idiots, or I'm an idiot. So anyways, it's fun to play. I highly recommend picking it up if you want to try a PUBG style game.
Like you can't go wrong with that game because it's free.
Right.
Like if you don't like it, you can just delete it. It's not like you need any money. And like I did that, like not thinking I was gonna like it. And like it's on spoilers. It's on my honorable mentions list. I didn't know I could put it on my top 10 list. Just because it's technically not out yet, but like you know,
we're not pros in this. We put whatever we want. Jeez. You know what was on my top 10 last year? Fucking Jazz Punk, and that came out in like 2012.
I say if you can play it on your system, it's a game.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care if it's not released or not. I don't care if it's in beta or whatever. If you can actually physically play the fucking game and you're having a blast, it's a game that deserves to be on the list. But anyways, I'm surprised that Matt had as much fun with it as he was. You know,
like that game it's captivated me and made me want more in a way that like I want to win a solo match. I want to be at the top of that mountain. I've been second like 5 times. I cannot wait to actually win that, but it is also, you know, piqued my interest for Battlegrounds when it comes to PS4 eventually. I've watched a lot of people play Battlegrounds, specifically the Waypoint people, because they are very entertaining to watch. More entertaining than that PewDiePie guy. But
Pewdie who?
Exactly. But I think the mechanic of being able to just build cover real quick is cool, but it's also not like it's not invincible. Like if you're building cover, someone can shoot that cover as it's being built and stop you from being built it, and you use your resources to do it. Like, I mean, it's a cool thing. I think the drops in it are interesting. I don't know if there are drops throughout the matches in Battlegrounds. At least I don't remember. That game's fun, and I hope that when it does come out, there are more emotes than just the little dance that you do.
I'm sure there will be.
I mean, I hope, I hope they, you know, mess with the stage a little bit. Like I've seen the desert level in Battlegrounds, and I think that has changed that game in a way that a lot of people didn't expect.
What I also like, I don't think Battlegrounds does this. I'm not sure because I haven't played it. But what I liked about Fortnite is, so you get dropped on an island, just like Battlegrounds, but then there's a storm. So there's a storm that comes and it shrinks the playable areas. So
that's Battlegrounds.
So Battlegrounds
it's not a storm, it's just like a circle of death.
Oh, so you do have to move towards the center. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So they completely ripped it off. But anyways, I like that. I thought that was pretty cool because you're like, I'm just going to dick around at this house for like 20, 30 minutes trying to get goods and stuff like that. And then I'll go find somebody. But it's like, no, you got to move. And then you'll be like, I'm outside the circle. I don't know if I'll make it inside the circle by the time the storm hits, and I might die, you know? So it's pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot.
I mean, I've had more tense moments in Fortnite without getting the kill.
Yeah.
And not necessarily dying. But I've gotten less kills than I ever have in any team deathmatch multiplayer and had way more fun.
Okay. Nice.
I mean, I think it, and I've outrun people in Fortnite and watched them die in the storm, and just celebrated to myself as I see and as I look back and see all their weapons just splatter about, and I'm like, at the same time, I'm still pissed I can't go back and grab something because the storm will just take health. But at the same time, that's not somebody trying to kill me anymore. Right. I'm higher on the food chain than them. I have finished ahead of them.
Right.
So inevitably, fuck them.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly. So yeah, no. I mean, and Fortnite is not in my top 10, but like that game is cool. Is as special as Battlegrounds is. Because it has that one aspect of building your own cover. And I think that is cool. And the ingenious things people have done to, like, the end game of that is a very specific type of thing. Like, because when you get to that super small circle, it's just someone who's built a tower and everybody left is laying siege to it. They'll pick somebody off, but that doesn't mean they're going to win. And yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Is it my number 8 now?
Yeah.
Number 8, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Ooh.
Do I think
it's higher on my list?
It's higher on your list? Okay, cool.
But I mean,
it's well, I will save it because I think that game
is cool. Talking, Corey.
Exactly. Number 8, Corey.
My number 8 game is Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Wow. Okay.
Which I didn't think it was gonna make my top 10, and then I got to this. Moose, I know you said you were playing it.
Well, no, I want to play it.
I'm not playing it. Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I got to this one moment where I was like, there's something special about this game. And like, I just kept going and still kind of trucking along. I don't know if I'm going to finish it because it's like a 5,000 hour game, but like,
right.
I think no.
It's not a 5,000 hour game. It is, and I quote, and this is on the box, it is a J-ass RPG. Corey.
Oh wait, yeah, that's right.
I remember that. I remember him saying that. So
okay, well,
quote it, put it on the box.
Now, yeah. Corey, can you sell me on this game?
It's like Bloodborne done right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ed. I had to say it. I had to do it. There was a fun Facebook conversation about it.
We're done. That's it.
Burn this shit down. Start again.
I'm out of here. I'm switching over to NGP, and we're gonna fucking burn.
Can I be the fourth on NGP?
Can. Totally can.
So basically, it's like the battle system is kind of like.
It looks like Tales.
Yeah, it is kind of like Tales. I like to compare it more to like Final Fantasy 12 meets Valkyrie Profile, where like.
See, now I've played Valkyrie Profile, but it's been a while. I haven't played Final Fantasy 12.
Final Fantasy 12, like it's a turn-based battle system where you have to like let your like your meters and stuff fill up, but you can move your characters around the battlefield, so like. You can't get hit. Like you can kind of like dodge enemy attacks while like your meters are charging. So you're not like just watching your.
It's like a series of cooldowns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And but the difference between Final Fantasy 12 and this is that this you forge relationships between blades, which are these kind of like supernatural kind of beings that are also swords that you wield. And
Muramasa meets Persona. Okay, I'm in.
And
you know what? That's actually enough. Never mind. You've done it. I'm gonna get Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Okay. And basically, like, you can switch out your blades depending on like what your play style is. There's some really cool like Xeno Easter egg blades in there, like from Xenosaga. Cosmos is in there from Xenosaga, and there's
like
a character.
Is there any from Xenogears?
Yeah, there's a character in there from Xenogears, but I'm not a big Xenogears person, so I don't really know. Like, I know which character it is, but I don't know what its name is or what the function they served in Xenogears. But there's some Easter eggs from even Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and X in there, and it's a JSRPG, man. Like, every anime trope, every art style you can think of, even some let's just say some extra large features.
Tentacle porn?
Sure.
Great.
Maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good. It's a great RPG for Switch. And if you want a JRPG for Switch and you can't get Persona, Xenoblade's probably your next best option. So
there you go.
It's not I don't think it's on the level of Persona, but it does everything well. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like stylish like Persona, or like super, like, I don't know, the relationship stuff isn't as in depth as Persona's is, but like it does all that stuff well. Okay. And the writing is actually pretty funny at some points, and it's serious when it needs to be. So like, it does a lot of things well. But I still think Persona would probably be a better JRPG, but it's not on Switch, so
right.
Xenoblade's better. Ba-dum-bum. I'm just kidding. I want to play Persona really bad.
Number 7. Take us to heaven, Moose.
Number 7 is Sundered. So I got a couple indie games on my list just because I didn't buy a lot of big blockbusters this year. And everybody knows my main platform of choice up until the Wednesday before Thanksgiving has been PS4.
Oh, I thought it was the Wii U.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Wii U. That's my... Yeah.
Moose, champion of the Wii U, said nobody.
Sundered's pretty cool. It's got a kick-ass little animated, like cartoonish style art style to it. But I'd say more on like the adult side, like Castlevania. If you watch Castlevania on Netflix recently, so it's not like you're looking at a cartoon and it's like fucking Animaniacs or some shit like that. Like childish style. Not that that's childish, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's not like it's cartoon-ish without being cartoony.
There we go. Thank you. I like the combat. It's cool. If memory serves me correctly, because it's been a little bit since I played it, when you die, you get to keep. You lose just a little bit. So like, instead of they took the mechanics from Dark Souls. Instead of losing all of your currency, you just lose a little bit. And so when you die, you get respawned back at the shrine, and you can spend points. So slowly, if you're not any good at the game, you could just keep grinding it out and just keep leveling stuff up. So there's like health, you level up health, you level up the damage that you take. So like, you take less damage, you level up your shields, you level up, your strength, so you do more damage. So you have all these different paths that you can go down the trees to make yourself stronger and get further and further into the game. And then the bosses are just pretty crazy cool. But I highly recommend it if it's on sale and you're looking for something that's fun and entertaining. It's also by the developer Frost Lotus, who did Jotun, which was a game based on Greek
Norse
mythology. Yeah, so and that game
cool. That game had fucking style too.
Yeah,
oh my
that
God.
game has severe style. So, anyways, check it out. Check it out if you can get it on sale. I'm sure it'll be on sale again. Well, it has been on sale, but it'll be again on a sale again sometime soon. So
yeah,
check it out. Check out Sundered.
Give that developer money.
Yeah, pretty much.
My number 7 is, I believe, Corey's number 9, Super Mario Odyssey. Mm-hmm. This game is.
Wait. No, I'm just kidding. It's not higher on my list.
I know. This game is a 3D platformer that, at its all the way to its core, it is built with joy in mind, and there has not been a game. There's not been another game that I have smiled as much playing it.
He's getting all choked up.
No, I'm belching, and I'm trying. I've had 3 beers already. I'm not. I don't. Well, I don't get, like, literally. I've not had a chance to drink in like a week. I had 1 beer at the end of my Christmas shift, and then that was just so I can go to sleep.
Anyway.
But Super Mario Odyssey is a fucking awesome game that was fun to play. It had me smiling the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the fact that using Cappy to capture stuff was as oddly empowering.
Mm-hmm.
I also like changing Mario's outfits. Like, that tapped into things that I did not expect a Mario game to tap into. And it goes places a Mario game, actually a Nintendo game hasn't. I think the spoilers for the end, the new Donk Festival is a beautiful symphony of Nintendo looking back at its legacy in a way that I don't think many developer, publisher, first parties have. And it's also designed well. The mix of 8-bit and modern graphics works, as well as the nods they throw to 64. I think the ending is cool, and the fact that you can eventually become Bowser is a bonkers and beautiful thing. Super Mario Odyssey is a great game. Ultimately, though, as I said in our category show, I was disappointed with it because every Mario game prior, I had felt compelled to get everything. This did not compel me to do so. I got enough for the proper ending, and I was out. I didn't need to go any more moons than that.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Yeah,
like, I got what I needed out of it, and, like, you know, after you become Bowser and that whole area you find afterwards is really cool, and, you know, really hits that the Mario 64 feels and everything, and, like, the new Donk City stuff was really cool. But, like, you know, I got what I needed out of it, and I don't know, man. I told you I'm not the biggest 3D Mario guy. I like New Super Mario Brothers. I liked Super Mario 3D World a lot. Mario, to me, there's a definitive end to the level, whether it's like a star you're trying to find, or, you know, the flagpole or whatever. And Odyssey, just, like, it was just super overwhelming for me. And that's, I mean, not that it wasn't a great game. It was super fun to play, and, like, I enjoyed every minute I had with it. It's just, like, I don't know, just I wasn't compelled to go get everything.
But see, it also showed up on your top 10 list and my top 10 list, and we still had flaws with it. That only speaks to the game's strengths. This is one of the best games of 2017.
Yeah,
despite its flaws.
I mean, look, I think there's a few things wrong with that game. Like, the swimming stuff is not great.
That's always been bad in Mario games.
Yeah, and you know, the camera is super wonky and everything, but, like, everything else in that game is, like, the graphics and the art style is cool. Like, some of the kingdoms are just really mesmerizing to look at. The fact that they can implement a polygonal food kingdom with New Donk City with that weird Dark Souls looking area where you fight a dragon, like a photorealistic dragon is like
And the fucking moon?
yeah. And you're like platforming on the moon with real moon gravity.
Yeah. Like, oh man, they go some places.
Yeah. Like all that's just like really amazing. And like some of the moons are really challenging to get and really fun and cool Easter eggs. Like the 2D Mario stuff, like when you went into the square pipes and went in and did like there's a whole segment where you're literally playing World 1-1 on a flat surface, and it's like,
yep.
oh, this is crazy while all this other craziness is going on around you, and it's like, but I mean, I knew like this game was going to be low on my game of the year list when I was going into it, just for the simple fact that I don't care about 3D Mario games, and the fact that it made my list just speaks like it's a phenomenally designed game, and like it's like a Super Mario fans dream game. Like it's awesome. So yeah.
The last thing I'm gonna say about it, fuck Peach, Team Pauline.
Yeah.
Pauline rules.
Pauline's awesome. Plus Peach is kind of like not worth your time in this game.
Yeah, I mean that is the ultimate damsel. And I feel like Pauline said, you know what? I don't need Mario to define me. I'm going to be mayor of New Donk City. I'm going to have a singing career. I'm going to put on festivals, son. Yeah, like Pauline rules.
Yeah.
But let's not wax too hard. Let's go to Corey's number 7.
My number 7, Snipper Clips.
Cool.
Switch.
Talk about it.
Basically, it's like 30 puzzles that, 2 to 4 players are these little crazy shapes, and you have to like literally cut shapes out of your different characters to solve these puzzles. And when I first got my Switch, it was the first game I downloaded, and like before I even played Zelda, San and I played Snipper Clips, and you know what? It was a blast. And cutting a big hole in the player 2 while they're trying to solve this puzzle is really funny. Not gonna lie. And then like when you're like trying to avoid player 2 doing the same thing to you, and you jump over them and solve the puzzle, it's also really funny.
Awesome.
I mean, I really don't have too much to say about it, except it's like one of the best kept secrets on the Switch. And if you have a Switch, it is like the game to show that off, because like you were required to use the Joy-Cons until about, I think, like a month ago. They finally patched in Pro Controller support, but like it's literally showing you have to pop off the Joy-Cons, you have to slide that extra piece on, you have to use the shoulder buttons to rotate. It's like it's the perfect game to show somebody who doesn't play games how to play the Switch, and it's awesome. It's awesome. Cool. It's one of 2 games my wife will play with me, and it's just awesome.
All boils down to that.
Yeah. Number 6. Moose.
Next Machina. So anybody knows Next Machina is...
It's the Housemarque game.
Yes, developed by Housemarque.
One of the Housemarque games.
I love
There were 2 Housemarque games that were released this year, this and Matterfall. Matterfall was more of a 2D side-scrolling shooter. This game mixes, like, if people want to say that Grand Theft Auto is Rockstar combining all the great elements of their games and putting it into one, this would be Housemarque doing that with their games. So, like, Grand Theft Auto, you got, like, the shooting, you got the slow time of Red Dead Redemption, you got the driving of Midnight Club with Franklin, you've got the Smuggler's Run if you want to make money on the side. You got all these tabletop. I think they did a tennis game. So that's tabletop tennis. So you can go play tennis with Michael's wife. So they've got a lot of great stuff in that game. So that's what this is for Housemarque. This is bringing in some stuff from Resogun. It's bringing some stuff from Dead Nation, Superstar or Stardust, Superstar Ultra. Yeah. So they're bringing that in. So like the game starts out and you're on a motorcycle, crash, you go into the level, and then like you finish. So like you'll go into a level and your whole point is to find the humans, like in Resogun. Once you find the humans, like the world just rotates. Like you'll be moving, you'll be standing still, and then it'll rotate, like back on you, or it'll rotate to the right, and then you'll be moving into the next level, and you get power-ups. You could get like a sword, you get an extra shot, and then if you die, you have like your power-ups stay there. So like say you die and you have like 3 power-ups, you might have 2 power-ups. And then if you die again, you only have 1 power-up to go pick up. So like the game kind of punishes you for dying. And so it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. It's a great arcade shooter. It's going to be the last arcade shooter that they do because they've announced this year that they're moving on. They've basically said that arcade shooters are dead and they want to move on with what they're doing, which I can respect. I love a lot of what they do. I'd love to see what they could do. Whether it's, I don't even know. They could probably do like a third-person action game or like a first-person shooter or role-playing game to get their feet wet. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I think they have also announced that they're going to use the Unreal 4 engine for their next game. So that's badass. I'm kind of excited to see what they can do moving forward and evolving in the future, because I think when they put out Nex Machina, they also put it out on PC. Because the PS4 it's not bad, but there's so many indies out there. You know what I mean? Like they're not making as much money as they were, and they're like, we need to change up the game. Like we need to, people aren't buying this stuff anymore. Like only our hardcore fans are buying it. Like me, obviously, I bought it day one. I think I pre-ordered it. I think you were able to pre-order it, and I had it pre-ordered. So I highly recommend it. If it's also good for just 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's a good, hey, I want to play for an hour or two, or it's also good for like, I want to just get 5-10 minutes in and just like have fun, So I highly recommend it if you're looking for, and I think it's normally $20. So if you want to wait for a sale, pick it up on sale, or if you don't care, $20 is not too much to invest in a really great shooter. So.
With the arcade shooters being dead, like, I think there are probably 2 people that have been putting those out, and that they are Housemarque and Jeff Minter. And Jeff Minter, he's the guy who created Tempest.
Yeah.
He put out Polybius earlier this year, and it's like I have a feeling Jeff Minter has been doing it so long he's probably not going to change. But I think Housemarque is starting to say, hey, we either need to adapt or die. And we'd rather not die. And I hope they adapt well.
Yeah.
I really do.
They even worked with the guy that did the original Defender on this.
Yeah.
So, what else can you do? And I'm not saying, and the game, like, it was well received.
It was well received. Like, people dug it.
Buying it and playing it, it's just, they are just seeing, okay, maybe diminishing returns on their games, release over release. Now, Matterfall, a lot of people didn't, I didn't have any issues with Matterfall from what I played, and I want to play more of that, but it's just, I don't think that came out, like, they released Nex Machina in June, and then in August, Matterfall came out. I'm like, who the heck releases 2 games within like 3 months of each other? It's insanity.
I also remember they made a big deal about Matterfall at a PSX.
Yeah.
And then Nex Machina came out.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of, and I'm like, what the hell?
They kind of were weird on their marketing campaigns. They were weird on their messaging a little bit. Because Matterfall was coming, and a lot of people wanted that to be like the next stage. Like, they did a lot of cool stuff with Resogun. They were looking for that to be their next step in revolutionizing like shooters, and I don't think it took off as well as people wanted it to. So,
well, the Matterfall trailer was also weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
It looked like, I mean, if I remember correctly, it looked like combat with voxels.
Yeah.
Like it looked like melee combat with voxels. So I'm like, I don't know what this is. And then Next Machina came out, and people were saying it's basically a Paul's Boutique of everything Housemarque had done. I was confused as shit, but Next Machina looked awesome, as did when I finally saw gameplay at Matterfall.
Yeah.
Both looked awesome.
Yeah.
So,
cool. In my personal opinion, I wish they would allow you to change the controls. I always find their controls to be weird. Like they have a dash button in Matterfall, and it's like, that's a weird placement for a dash button. I'd rather put it here. And it's like, we're in 2017. Let me change my controls to what I want.
Yes, then the Nintendo will not listen.
Anyways, moving right along. Matt.
My number 6 is Nier Automata. This is a game that tapped into a lot of things in me in 2017. Go ahead.
It is high. It's higher on my list.
Okay, then I will stop.
But I was gonna say, not that much higher.
Not that much higher. Well, then I will take a breath, and we will move to Corey's number 6.
Hellblade is my number 6.
Okay.
Sweet. I can talk. Go, Corey.
That game, man, fucking that game cool. It's one of the most believable performances in a character I've ever seen. Like, and not only is it like a believable performance, she's not an actor. She's a video. She cuts video for Ninja Theory.
Yeah.
B, she's acting for the first time. C, she is playing a character with a mental illness, which, look, I don't know if you watch really bad TV, but people that play characters with mental illnesses on TV are terrible at it.
Well, they do it in movies. They win Oscars for doing it badly in movies.
She just encapsulated this character, and it's I think this game probably should have been higher on my list, but any other year, this game would be really high on my list. But man, the way it uses sound, the way it uses depth of field, the way it uses it tricks your brain into thinking something's one place and then it ends up being another. It just, man, Hellblade is a special, special, special game. And I am so happy that it did well. I'm so happy that it won all kinds of awards. That game is. Ooh, I hope they make a physical copy of that game someday, because even though I've gone mostly digital, I do like to have physical copies of games that I would
buy an art book of that game. I would buy an art book of that game.
Yeah, man. But Hellblade is man, that game is. It takes a lot.
And to echo a lot of things you just said, I remember when the iPhone game Her Story came out, and it used FMV, the way that, and I don't remember her name, but she did win a game award for her performance in Her Story. But the way she performed kind of both sides of it, it was just striking, and it stuck with you in a way that most video game performances don't. Same here with Senua's Sacrifice. I feel this is and I really love movies and film history. The performance here in Senua's Sacrifice is very much akin to, and neither of you will get this, an actress. I only know her last name. Her last name is Falconetti. She was in Carl Theodor Dreyer's 20s era film, The Passion of Joan of Arc. It's her only film performance, and it is something people say is the greatest performance in the history of film. Do I think this is the greatest performance in the history of video games? I can't really say yes or no because it just happened. But there's something here that has not been present in video games, except maybe GLaDOS from Portal. Maybe. But this game is something super special, and like Jesse White said, I think he on NGP, like this is the first game to tackle mental health honestly, rather than just being something akin to Donald Trump mimicking a special needs reporter.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that people with mental health issues could get behind and say, you know what, that's my fucking Robin Hood. Like that is, this is something to wave a fucking flag. And God bless Ninja Theory for nailing this.
I wish they would make like either an art book or some kind of special edition with like a statue or something.
Yeah.
For this game, because like I want something from that game, like
yeah.
I want it to sit up next to my Aloy statue and my Assassin's Creed statue. Like I want that. Like
I love Bloodborne, I love Dark Souls, and if this had a figurine of that price point, I would get it. Just to make sure that Ninja Theory gets something. Because they fucking deserve it. No developer that I'm aware of has swung for the fences with an issue like this the way they have.
It hit a home run too.
Yeah, and they had a grand goddamn slam, and like it just piles on to the reason why 2017 was a fucking good year for games.
Yeah, and like, dude, if anyone out there is gonna play it or planning on playing it soon, wear headphones.
Oh yeah, oh hell yeah.
You need to play it with sound. Like, there's a lot of games out there where you can just be like, yeah, it sounds great, but I'm gonna throw on some music or a podcast or something. But like, you really need to pay attention to the sound in this game. Because it really does play an integral part of the experience. And it's just like, man, it's a game. It is a game.
It is a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah, it is.
So that's our 6th. Now we're going to take a break from the 10 list, and we're going to talk about our regrets. Now, I don't think we need to go into like descriptions of these or why we didn't. We can just quick fire this. So it'll just be like Moose, me, Corey, and we'll go until we all don't have any more. I have a ton of regrets. So I'll at least throw that out there. Moose, what's your first regret?
Breath of the Wild. Not picking up a Switch sooner and playing it sooner.
Should have had that. You like I did, son.
Yeah. Backstory and why I kind of hate on Nintendo. Just the Wii was just fucking horrible. Motion controls are terrible. I wanted that precision in my controls of the character in my world, and so I bought a Wii and then was trying to play, what was that, Twilight Princess, I think, and just was not having a good time. So I just like a really bad scorned lover was like, fuck Nintendo. I sold my Wii. When they started talking about Skyward Sword, I was like, nope, I don't even want to fucking know about it. Don't want to have anything to do with it. I was excited about the HD remake of Wind Waker, which I hope they bring to Switch, which would be awesome. But it's kind of like, I love playing that. But so Breath of the Wild, saw it, and then with a lot of the people in our gaming communities talking about it and watching videos and just, I bought my Switch before Thanksgiving, and that was the one game. Like, I bought 2 games initially. I bought Mario Kart 8 and I bought Breath of the Wild, because it's like I can't buy a fucking Nintendo system, and not buy the Zelda game that's out for it, So and started playing it, and I'm like, wow, this is really like everybody's right. Like, you know, like this game is really, really good, and I wish I put more time into it. So that's one of my regrets. That's my first regret. Matt's like, damn. Corey, what's one of your regrets?
Pretty much every halfway decent game that came out on 3DS this year.
Fuck 3DS, dude.
Like, I really wanted to play the Metroid game. But
I was just gonna say, did you play that?
The Samus Returns one?
No, I didn't. I tried to play, like, Fire Emblem came out in May, and I was like, nah, dude. Ever Oasis came out in June, I was like, nah. And then Metroid came out, and Mario and Luigi came out for 3DS, like, in September and October. I was like, nah, pass. I just look. I like the 3DS probably more than most people do, but like, you got this shiny new system with a screen that's just look at it. It's amazing.
Way bigger.
And I don't want to go back to this, like, just not even GameCube graphical
just this dumb idea.
Like,
yeah.
And like, I wanted to play those games, and it's just like, I can't, dude. I can't play my 3DS anymore. Like, I just can't.
What is your bet? What are your odds on them just dumping the 3DS next year and putting everything into the Switch just because?
God, I hope so.
My thing was like, we talked about this on Nintendo Pal Block like 2 episodes ago, so like I won't go into
listen to it.
Yeah, if you want to know, just go back 2 episodes. But like, I think like next year is really going to be the last year of any halfway decent game on the 3DS.
Yeah,
I think if there's any Nintendo quote unquote first party titles on there, they're going to be outsourced to like Samus Returns. They're going to be like, up and coming developers. It's really just going to be like either a training machine or like outsourcing it to other developers or other like third party developers wanting to put, weird puzzle games on there or stuff like that. I think this being the last mainline Pokemon really tells the story of the 3DS. Ultra Sun and Moon is the last 3DS Pokemon before they move on. Professor Layton and Ace Attorney, which are 2 of the biggest DS and 3DS franchises, are moving to Switch next year. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is moving to Switch next year. So, like, honestly, I can't see anything super important coming out past July for that thing. I could be wrong. There could be some hidden gems coming out, but like I said, with the Switch's success and them boosting manufacturing on that thing, like they want to sell 20 million units next year. Like they got to put all their firepower on Switch. And like, look, the 3DS is a great system, but it's also 7 years old. It's time. It's time.
Yeah, that's a handheld to put down.
Tie it to a tree and bash it in the head with a shovel. It's done.
Just put a rifle to the back of its head and pull the trigger. Just no pain. Just pull the plug. Just do it. Mm-hmm. They had a great swan song in Samus Returns and Mario and Luigi. Like they had a great 2017. Just put it to bed. Yeah. And they had a lot of amazing games this year. Monster Hunter Stories came out. Ever Oasis was a cool little RPG that was kind of like Dark Cloud, if you remember that from PS2.
Yep.
Metroid, the last Pokemon game, like they had a killer year. It's time. Like you can't end on a bigger note than it ended this year. So.
They had the best year they're going to have going forward.
Right.
It may not be the best year ever, but like they're not going to have another year.
And they had a mainline Fire Emblem game come out on the system this year. Like, I mean,
it's just kill it. Come out on E3 and just say we appreciate your support around E3 time. We appreciate your support of the 3DS. But hey, guess what? A lot of the major titles you bought last year, you can pick up digitally on the Switch. You can move over to the Switch, and we're now solely focusing on the Switch as our system. Like you said, like put all your firepower in it. Get all your games behind it. you know,
and like porting stuff over, like Metroid has HD graphics ready to go, down ported to Switch. Like Pokemon's assets were made in HD and ported down to 3DS. Yeah. Mario and Luigi, like you can port these games to Switch and have them be just as viable with a little bit of work, you know, like I'm sure Mercury Steam is dying to work with Nintendo because nobody else wants to work with it. So like just have them port. Like if we're not getting Metroid Prime 4 and like I mean I hope we get an HD trilogy of Metroid Prime, but like if we don't, Samus Returns is an easy up port.
Yeah.
All things considering. So I think it's time for the 3DS to end, honestly. It just gosh, just go away. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes me frustrated. It just go away.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. So I have a giant list of games that I regret not playing. That's really my only regret. You want me to just list them?
Yeah.
I can just go through.
Yeah, let's do rapid fire. We're kind of running
like long. I'm not gonna go into this, but like I didn't get to play Nex Machina. I didn't get to play Cuphead. I don't have the system. I didn't get to play XCOM War of the Chosen. Ran out of time. Gravity Rush 2, fucking forgot about it, which sucks. Songbringer, never really had the time. What Remains of Edith Finch, never really had the time. Rain World, Night in the Woods, Prey, Divinity, Original Sin 2. I don't have a PC. Observer, Hollow Knight, Sundered, Mummy Demastered, Tacoma, and Polybius. Those are just games I just didn't have time to play. I wanted to play all of them the minute I heard about them, but I work 3 jobs. Healthcare never stops, and
train never ends.
Exactly. So 2018, to a degree, all of you were on my list to play. Sorry, Cuphead, come to PS4, please, even though I know you won't.
Cuphead 2 will.
Hopefully.
Yeah, they got burned. They got burned by that, and they know they learned their lesson.
That's pretty much all my regrets there. If you guys want to do one more apiece, you're more than welcome to.
I'm just gonna throw out Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
I know it's on your guys' list. It won't be on my list. I'll spoil it.
Well, you didn't play it though.
Because I haven't played it. Well, that's the thing. So when I bought my Switch, I bought Kart because I thought my wife would want to play it. It's a multiplayer game. She'd want to play that with me instead. And she's just like, I don't really like Mario Kart. So I kind of like screwed myself. And I've just been putting off Mario Odyssey simply for the fact that I should have did it opposite. So Jeff has been thinking about getting a Switch, and Jason has been like, hey, pick up Mario Odyssey first, then get Zelda. Because you can finish Mario Odyssey first and enjoy it, and then go into a longer game that is Zelda. And I probably should have did that. So I feel if I get Mario Odyssey, it'll keep pushing Zelda further and further on the back burner until it falls off the stove completely. And I don't want that to happen because I want to play Zelda. So that's one of my other regrets. And then pretty much a lot of the games that Matt listed. Like I have Prey. I played a little bit of it, didn't get to it too much. I want to play Divinity Original Sin because I like the first one, but I don't have a PC. Cuphead, I ain't gonna fucking buy an Xbox for that, but I'll probably pick it up on Steam when I build my own computer next year. When Captain Canada and I build my own computer next year. So, you know, there are a lot of games. Gravity Rush 2 I wanted to play, but like he said, forgot about. So just a lot of the smaller stuff that came out. He mentioned Hollow Knight, which is on Steam. I have a feeling that's going to be coming to Switch.
It
possibly is in February. So then I'll just play it there. Like I was going to pick it up on Steam, you know, but I decided, hey, I'm going to go and because Steam has this weird thing where like if you join Steam, they make you buy a game to confirm that you're actually a real account instead of just some shit account. So I bought Starbound, which I don't regret. Starbound's awesome. But I want to get a PC to really play it on. And I was going to buy Hollow Knight, but I don't think my computer would have handled it. So I'm kind of glad I didn't just purchase it, because now if I buy it on Switch when it comes out, I won't be double dipping. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll never probably play it on PC if I have it on Switch. So anyways, Matt, I just pretty much copied a lot of titles off your list because our lists were very mirrored as far as games that we both have the same occupational
hurdles to deal with.
Well,
Especially
we also have a lot of the same interests. Like you and I are like indies out the wazoo, and a lot of the same tastes in gaming, which is great. But Corey, you have another regret or any more regrets?
I mean, just a couple games I didn't get to just because it was such a big year. Like, I really wanted to play Persona 5. I didn't get to play that. Neo and Nier, I really wanted to play just because, like, I've heard those games are something on the level of Zelda in terms of, like, those games are great in their own way and, like, really doing something different and stuff. So, like,
yeah,
I don't know. I regretted that I bought Mass Effect Andromeda at full price.
That's a regret.
Yeah, well,
that's a regret.
I wanted to believe that it wasn't as bad as everybody was saying it was, and
that didn't happen.
I regret purchasing that game for $60.
Especially when I've seen screenshots of people selling it at like fucking Goodwill for 15 or whatever. Like,
I know.
See that it's horrible.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that I don't really have any other really big regrets. I tried to limit my spending on games, and I did that for the most part.
Nice, that's good. I'm doing that next year. Me losing my job in February really threw things, like turned my world on its head, and so now I'm like it has to be a sale or it has to be a big, like really big game. So like the next game I buy full price besides an indie, I'm talking like $60 full price, will probably God of War, unless Sony comes out or From Software comes out and says, hey, yeah, by the way, here's Dark Souls remastered on PS4. I'd buy that.
Don't tease me, Moose. Don't tease me.
I love you, buddy. I'm sorry.
Extra content.
But what if they had two different versions inside the game where it was like Dark Souls 2, where you could play the original version, or you could mix it up and play like different enemy locations, like they did with Scholars of the First Sin. Like that would be awesome. Like that would be fucking awesome. But anyways, side note, just trying to trim down.
But see, the big real wet dream of that entire idea is a realization of Demon Souls. There's the way Demon Souls works is very much like Dark Souls 3, where you go to Firelink Shrine. It's sort of like a hub. Yeah. But in Demon Souls, there are these headstones that lead you to worlds. There are 5 headstones you can go to. There's a 6th one that doesn't go anywhere. So it's led the community to believe that they had an idea for a 6th world, but they never finished it. If they re-release Demon Souls with that 6th world, anyway.
Yeah, mine's blown.
Let's move to our top 5, gentlemen.
Top 5.
Moose.
My number 5 is Nier Automata. So that's why I had Matt holding on that, because I was like, hey, hold on. My next game is not that far up the list.
This game goes some places, and I haven't seen all of it. I haven't, and I'm so excited to see all of it. Yeah. This is like some Blade Runner shit, and Blade Runner is awesome. I love it.
So I was playing the hell out of the game, and I enjoyed it. I like the combat, the way it switches up. Like 1 second it's a side-scrolling like R-type game. The next second it's a twin-stick shooter. Next second, it's like, a vertical scrolling. It's just, they had like crazy gameplay styles that they would be mixing into the game, but it made sense. Like it was cool, like to vary it like that. And then the characters are interesting. The world, I mean, it is kind of empty, but whatever. I enjoyed what I played of it, but so what happened with me, much like with Neo, is I was like, I want to platinum this. So I pretty much just want to play this to get the platinum. So I stopped playing it, So I still have to go through and play it to platinum it, follow a guide. So I want to try and do that this year sometime, but I kind of put it on the back burner. But I believe I played enough of it to know that like it's a good game. So like you'll have plenty of fun with it. Like you have like a light attack weapon and then you have a heavy attack weapon, and those can be leveled up. You also have a little follower, like a little droid that follows you around and he shoots for you. So I mean it's pretty cool. And then you have upgrade system where you can take cards, quote unquote cards, out of your Android, the main character, and replace them with other ones. So like you get maybe 15 slots and you'll have a card that takes up 5 slots, but that card boosts your health by 40%. Mm-hmm. So you have to figure out what you want to sacrifice. You could do it manually, or if you just want to go on auto, you can just hit auto and the game will actually place what it thinks is the best cards, in your slots for your gameplay, or for you to beat the game or play the game. And so I thought that was pretty cool. But anyways.
Yeah, like I didn't play all of it. I got to where 9S made his sacrifice and uploaded 2B's memories and sacrificed himself. Yeah. And I thought that was such a beautiful thing. And I'm like, you know what? I need to come back to this because this is something that is worth my time.
Yeah.
And like, there's enough Philip K. Dick there. There's enough Isaac Asimov there. There's enough sci-fi shit there that like I need to just set the time aside. I feel like, a time when games aren't coming out is a good one, or at least there's not a lot of game coming out traffic. And that'll probably be one of the first games I actually fully platinum in 2018.
Nice.
And again, which was a trend of things this year. It's a layered story.
Yeah.
And I think the meta surrounding Nier Automata, like from Patrick Klepek at Waypoint, just saying, "Hey, don't sleep on fucking Nier Automata," to a point where the game's main creator, Yoko Taro, basically said, I think this is weird that this game is so popular. Like, because this is a sequel to a spin-off of a game that wasn't necessarily
okay. So I was getting
lighting up things on PS3.
I was getting this history from Joey at work. So there's a series called Drakengard. And each game in that series is like has its own storyline, but it kind of takes place in the same universe.
It's like Final Fantasy in a weird way.
In a weird way, yeah. And then like it's a Nier 1 is a spin-off of one of the possible endings from Drakengard 3.
Yeah.
And this is a sequel to that. So it's like blah!
It's literally the lightning returns of something everybody forgot about.
Mm-hmm.
Except it turns out to be, just fucking cool. And I love the fact that Yoko Taro was like, I don't get why this is so cool all of a sudden, but I'm happy about it. So yeah, Nier Automata is fucking awesome. If you haven't played it, play it. I haven't played probably even 1/5 of it, and it was my 6th best game of this year. I believe that's my number 5.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Late entrant, End is Nigh, by Nicalis and Edmund McMillan. I heard about this game earlier this year and was like, yep, when that comes to a platform I have, I will buy it. Then I picked up a Switch and found out it was on Switch, and I'm like, I will buy it. I bought it. I played it. I love it. I think the opening is sort of the hallmark of Edmund McMillan and the way he sort of looks at the world. It is literally a person who is trying to stream the newest, latest, but his streaming hardware breaks down, and he even tries to blow on the cartridge to make it work. And then he has to go out and build a friend to play this game with. It's fucking cool. It is difficult platforming, and it is fun in that difficulty.
But fair. That's one thing you want to say. Like Super Meat Boy, people can sit there and say it's fucking tough all they want, but that game is fair.
No.
If you die, it's because you fucked up. It's not because the controls were unresponsive. It wasn't because, whatever, you hit a button and it was a delayed reaction. Like it just,
No.
it's all on you. So that's
those controls are tight.
Yeah.
I think the art is cool, and I mean, even the story is great. And I'm like I love games like that. I will continue to play games like that. And thank God for folks like Edmund McMillen with the right kind of demented personality to keep putting cool ones out. My number 5, The End is Nigh. Corey, your number 5, sir.
My number 5 is Injustice 2. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. It's a very, very competent fighting game with an awesome story, and you know the way like you can fight through like the game knows that if you're not like a hardcore fighting game guy, you're not going to play online because you're going to get crushed. Yeah. So they made this cool thing within the game called the multiverse, which allows you to go through like separate kind of story missions, quote unquote, and fight different characters again. And like that sounds kind of like it would get old after a while, but they did this cool thing where they added a loot system to the game where like you can find like I've been playing a lot as Supergirl, so you can find, you know, new gauntlets that'll make you stronger, or a new chest piece that will grant you more health. But you know, your agility might drop a little bit. You can find boots that'll make you faster, but make you less powerful. So like the gear you apply to your character makes you different each time you go in, as well as it allows for multiple. You know, it allows the same opponent to be like feel like a different fighter every time because they're also changing up gear and, you know, using new moves and stuff. So it's cool. It's a really interesting take on a fighting game, and I didn't know how the loot system would work online, but it's actually like really balanced, and it was, man, there was a lot of work that went into this game, and the story was cool. So
nice.
Yeah, I heard the loot was basically cosmetic when you take it online. Is that correct or no?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't played online yet, but all the loot stuff when you're playing like story missions and stuff is super well balanced, and you know, you can look at your opponent's loot before you go into the game, so you know how to address your own powers. So like, yeah, it's really cool.
Switch things up, move things around.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did.
So, yeah. Cool. So, yeah, Injustice 2 is my number 5.
Number 4, Moose.
Number 4.
Neo.
That is my number 4.
Nice. So we can talk about it.
Yeah. Neo's fucking great.
God, that game is so awesome. Fast. Combat is intricate. Responsive controls, I feel.
Deep as fuck.
Deep. Yeah, like, personally, I feel like, I know Derek Teague was making the post for Fathers of the Ground. I know he's making the post back when the game came out. He was kind of thinking that there was too much loot. And I kind of agree with that. Like, I think Bloodborne could have used a little bit more, but then, like, you look at Dark Souls 3, I'm like, there's a lot of this shit that I'm not going to be using. You know, so I feel they're, like, they drop a lot of stuff, and you're just like, I'm just going to destroy this for whatever, you know, or, you know, I'm going to get rid of it, make mats out of it. So I feel if they would have did something where it was like, okay, here's 25 sets of armor you could buy. Here's 25 different weapons of, you know, the katana blade, the axe, like, you know, narrow it down to like a certain amount, like specific names, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you know, here's the hunter's axe, here's the Kirk hammer, here's, you know, the saw cleaver. Like, I think that would have been a lot better for them. I think that's the only downfall in the game. I know a lot of people were upset as far as like co-op, because in co-op it's not like Souls games like Bloodborne. So like Matt and I can pretty much play co-op Bloodborne all the way, as long as we beat the boss for that world in each other's world, we can move on to the next stage. But like with Neo, if I go to help Matt, or he wants to, if I need help from him, he has to have beaten that world to come in and help me. So they said they did that because it changed from the beta. The beta was like you could be anyone going and helping friends, and so they changed it just to make it a little more difficult. DLC has gotten really good reviews and has fared well. And then I said, in our B-side video that they're saying that they want to make the world bigger. They want to make Neo larger. So don't know if that's DLC. Don't know if that's, hey, we've got a sequel in the pipeline. Here's where it's going to go. I think that's pretty freaking awesome. And it's been almost 10 years that the game's been in development. I think 8. It's been at least 8 years in development. So it's awesome that it's doing really well and a lot of people are liking it. So if you're looking for a cool game, check it out. I mean, it's oh god, it's so fun and so fast. And when you get in a rhythm with like what you're doing, with like what weapon you're picking, and what I found cool is like with Bloodborne, you granted that's the other thing is like if you only have a limited amount of weapons, you're kind of like, I picked this weapon, I'm sticking with it. Mm-hmm. But I feel like I find myself switching a lot, not because there's more weapons because of the loot, but there's more different types of weapons. So you got like the twin little katanas. You've got a regular samurai sword. You've got a really large one that just does a shit ton of damage, which is basically I've dubbed that my Kirk Hammer of Neo. And so
you're Kirk Hammerai.
Yeah, exactly. And then they have the I can't remember the name of it, but it's the sickle that has like the ball,
the chain, and
the chain with the ball, the heavy ball on it. The girl in Kill Bill uses it.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. They have a name for it.
Yeah, they do. It's a weird name, and I can never pronounce it because I'm American and ignorant and stupid. So it's just really cool how you can switch to the weapons, and then not only weapons but the stances. So like you have a high stance for high defense, low damage output. Then you have a middle stance, which is kind of even on your defense and your damage. And then you have a low stance, which you just deal a shit ton of damage, but you can't block worth shit. So it's so intricate and cool. It's a lot of fun to play. And like I said with Nier Automata, for new people who haven't been paying attention, I put the collector's edition guide on my birthday list, and my parents bought it for me, and I was waiting to platinum the game. I was waiting for that guide to come, and then they just canceled it in November, which is sad because they didn't feel they could do a good enough job with it, but I respect them for doing that, for saying we don't feel we could do justice to this game, so we're going to cancel our project. And so now, beginning of the year, probably after I do Nier Automata, I'll probably try and get Neo out of the way, get the platinum in that. But great game. Check it out if you can. I know it's been on sale. I know the deluxe edition, which contains the DLC, which is not insane. Like when you buy Battlefield,
like they're not $20 pieces of DLC,
or not even that. It's only $20 more for the deluxe edition. Yeah, so it's like I think it's like $59.99 for the regular version. It's maybe $79.89 for the deluxe edition, and you get 3 pieces of DLC. So I was trying to say it's not like Battlefield 1, where you buy the game and then you pay an extra. You play double the game. You pay an extra $59 for the season pass. So
yeah,
it's definitely something worth looking into.
The one thing I'll say that Moose didn't really mention was the PvP that's in there, and it's not super PvP like Dark Souls, but you'll see these swords sticking out of the ground as you wander through the world, and you can take a look at them and size up the person that died, and you can call them into your world. You can call a phantom of them into your world, fight them, and get pieces of their gear.
Which I didn't know if you know this. They've added legit PvP.
I did know they've added legit PvP, and when they said that, I'm like, man, I gotta fucking play Neo.
Yeah.
And still have not had time to go back to it. Neo's fucking cool. And I think that in lieu of the Souls series being dead, I have Neo, The Surge, and Lords of the Fallen and Salt and Sanctuary to satiate myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. I mean, and that's when I get done, experimenting with Dark Souls PvP, because that's a fucking cool thing. But Nioh's awesome. Nioh is, when I saw trailers for it, I'm like, okay, they're talking Dark Souls, and then I listened to Chris Hard get all bonerific about how it was Onimusha in Dark Souls, and I'm like, okay, I never played Onimusha, so I don't really have any frame of reference here.
Oh, I love Onimusha.
Yeah, I missed it. But when I actually got in there and started playing it, I, like a Dark Souls game or like a Souls-like, I was confused, and then I just persevered and messed with it and tried things, and then I started to realize, oh, wait a minute, this is exactly what I would do in a Dark Souls or a Bloodborne game. I would experiment and see what works and what doesn't, and then eventually just find my own style. And there's a lot to be said for that. On top of that, Nioh's combat has upgrades and skill trees that are there for you to find, but not necessary for you to win. Like, you can win with the base moves, which is a cool thing.
Yeah.
It's like level running in Dark Souls if you're that kind of masochist.
I thought the leveling system was cool too.
And then, like the way you can choose to, like, oh, I can, with this amount of skill points, I can earn a parry. Okay. And then you can add on to that. You can earn a parry and a flip over them to backstab them. Oh, you look like a badass.
And we've talked to Ed about it. Like, the combo system's awesome. Like, you'll like earn, okay, hey, I'm in low stance with the dual short katana blades. And when I do a back dash, I earn my chi back. Because, like, for those who don't know, the game works off, like, you have your stamina,
which is key.
Which is your key. And you get, as you do attacks, light will pulse around your character. And when you stop attacking, there's a certain moment, if you hit your R1 button, you'll earn the vast majority of your ki back faster than if it just reload it. And so you can just keep your attacks going. And so you want to just get your combos going so that you never stop and you're just freaking destroying shit, So
yeah, and then abstractly, the combat actually becomes like a rhythmic dance. And abstractly, that's fucking cool. But before we spend too long on Nioh, we need to hear Corey's number 4.
My number 4 is Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Nice.
That game is 1,000 times better than it.
Oh, it has any right to be.
When you round that, like, in like the world, like level 1-4, 1-5 or whatever, when you walk around that corner and you see a big toilet with a Goomba on it, and you're like, yep, okay, this is gonna be that game.
Yep.
And then when you get Luigi Rabbid and he offers up that banana to the
giant
rabbits,
Donkey Kong rabbit.
Yeah, yep. And like, I mean, the rabbits don't overstay their welcome, like,
nope.
like, they usually do. And turns out, pretty good XCOM game in there somewhere.
Yep.
So, that game. Oh my gosh, that game. If you have a Switch and you are interested in strategy games at all,
play it.
Yeah, that game is awesome. And if you buy it digitally right now, the game is like $45, or you can buy the premium edition and get the expansion pass for free.
Yeah.
So,
and they haven't released any of that, have they? So that's yet to come, the expansion stuff, or
yeah, they've released a bunch of like free stuff.
But like the paid stuff.
But the paid stuff isn't coming till next year. So
that's cool. Well, I mean, that's cool to elongate the life cycle of that game. That's cool.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll pick that up when it comes.
That's the only reason I've kept that cart. Like, I'm waiting for that. Corey, did you find the Opera Man?
The what?
The Opera Man.
Obviously, no.
No.
Oh man, there's a boss, I believe, in Kingdom Battle that is an opera dude who talks shit on Mario. It's great. It's like, all you say is "it's a me." Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
That's fun.
Like honestly, like the way that they did humor in that game, I I did not unfortunately have room for it in my top 10, but man, is that a strong ass honorable mention.
Yeah. Man, that game is good. So
best XCOM game I've had time to play this year.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, all right. Well, number 3.
Number 3.
Moose.
Number 3. It's funny that it both made my regrets list and my top 10 list, but Breath of the Wild. Because I feel I have played enough of it to be completely and utterly wowed by it. And I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to stop you right there because it's higher on my list.
Yeah, okay, let's move on. Right, so Matt, you're up.
My number 3 is Persona 5.
Not anywhere on my list, but an honorable mention. So anyway,
I know Corey didn't play it. So Persona 5 on the surface is more Persona 4. That is about as short selling it as saying Neo is Samurai Dark Souls. I feel like they've refined the leveling system in terms of your social links. I think the stories got a little deeper, and I think there was more to do in the world. I like the combat. I actually like the combat in 5 more than I do in 4. I like the personas more than I do in 4. However, I don't think 5 is a better game than 4.
There's no Chie.
Thank you. There's no Chie.
Have you platinumed it? Are you planning to?
I am planning to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have rearranged the way I'm going to do my last 5 platinums to 100. I think I'm getting rid of I'm getting rid of Bastion and Pyre because they're going to be too hard, and then I'm going to add Nier and Persona 5 and some other things.
Cool.
To finish off that, but Persona 5 is, if anything, it is a perfect JRPG. Also, the way that everything sort of contributes to the overall game is cool and interesting. And while I've not finished it, I know you fight God at the end. I think that's pretty badass.
That is pretty badass.
So, Persona 5. And without hesitation, Shoji Meguro's score is, I'll say it's better than Persona 4.
Okay.
Man, Persona 4 was so good.
Number 3. Oh, yeah, Persona 4 is great.
Like
Persona 5 is good, but Persona 4 is one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah. Oh, so good. So good.
Number 3, Corey.
Assassin's Creed Origins is my number 3 game. It did a lot with Assassin's Creed that really kind of made it better, and it doesn't feel like an Assassin's Creed game. Honestly, it feels more like Horizon and pretty much open world action RPG game. The weapons are cool, and the world is beautiful, and like the assassinations are cool. But the thing that really put this game in my top 5 and really my top 3 was the relationship building, which is a weird thing to say about an Assassin's Creed game.
Well, you said you loved Bayek and Aya, right?
Yeah. Bayek and Aya's relationship is super cool, and like it does the same thing that Hellblade did for me in terms of like characters and like a believable relationship, whereas like in Hellblade, Senua was so believable as that the actor made it so believable, and like if you didn't get that right, like that game crumbled in on itself. So like you look at Assassin's Creed, and this game is built on the relationship of Bayek and Aya, and like it's one of the most believable love stories that I've ever seen in a game. A game about aliens and technology and like pretty much
assassins and
superhero assassins and mythical
up kill 'em.
Egyptian gods, that their relationship really feels grounded. And like, there's this one scene, probably 2/3 of the way through the game, where they're like side by side and kind of like this. They won't. They have two different missions, but they're at this table like planning out their kind of like their final, well, 25 hours of the game, really. But like, this is kind of like their big push to move into the direction of like taking down the Templars of this version of the game. And like, they're kind of standing right next to each other. And even though they're like getting ready to move in different directions, they won't leave each other's side until it's like time to go. And then they have like angry, I just killed someone, let's have sex. And there's a lot of that, like, kind of
hell yeah,
angry murder sex is what I like to call it. But like,
awesome,
it's like passionate I love you sex, and not like
I love you murder sex.
Yeah, and it's not like Mass Effect either, where they're like, oh, nipples. It's like,
oh my god, we're watching Shepard have sex with a blue person.
Yeah. But like, their relationship is kind of like what really pulls that game together for me. And like, if their relationship wasn't believable, I don't know if this game would make my top 5 or really maybe even my top 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's how strong their relationship is. And I've almost finished the game, and like, I heard there's something really cool that happens at the end of the game in terms of Aya. So like, I really want to finish it, but that's my number 3 game.
Awesome.
Moose, your number Dookie.
Earth Atlantis.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, I switched a lot of things around. I find myself fucking just sitting at work being like, I can't wait till I can get to lunch to get an hour of Earth Atlantis in. Just
like, I was heartbroken when I had to include it in my honorable mentions. But like, I'm with you. That game is fucking fun.
God, the gameplay is good. Like, and you just like, you start playing it. Yeah, you get lost, and you're just like, wow, this. You're just scratching the surface as you play. So then like, you're just like the different power-ups, the way to use them, where to use them, what bosses use them on, so it's a lot of fun, and it's tough. So like Dark Souls, I hit a wall with a boss, and then I was at work, I think, or I don't know where I was, but I was in church. I beat it in church. I beat the boss in church. That's right. So I
pulled a Homer Simpson. You were like, it's good.
So my mom asked me to go to church this year, and so did my wife. And I was like, all right, I'll go. Make my mom happy.
Christmas
because I love my mom.
Portable.
That's what I said. But I told my wife, I said, I'm bringing my Switch. I said, don't get pissed at me. So we went like an hour early. It was at 4:00. Mass was at 4:00, and we were there at like 3 to get seats. Anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm playing. I died a couple times trying to get to, at him. He was killing me. And so finally, I got homing missiles, and you can level up to 4, and which shoots 4 homing missiles. And I died. Like, he shot 2 crazy homing little missiles at me, and I died. But my missiles killed him. The kill counted, and then the wall crumbled, and it was like, here's some health, here's a power up, but I'm like, I'm dead. So I killed the boss, and so I texted Matt. I'm like, hey, by the way, Earth Atlantis works like Bloodborne, where like, if you die while the boss is dying, it still counts. And he's like, what? And I'm like, so I explained it. And anyways, so I got past that, and now I rolled the next 2 bosses, like crush them, and now I'm on the 3rd boss after it, when I got stuck at, and it's just trying to avoid him, because he moves in like really fast motions, and then he spins, and if he hits you,
Rotodon, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm at the Rotodon, and he's a fucking dick. I just need more time to go in and just really learn his patterns and stay away from him and kill him. So, anyways, it's pretty deep. It's pretty cool. I'm playing with 1 ship. There's like 4. I think that you can unlock, and it's just a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to like playing it throughout the year. and then eventually just beating the game and having fun with it. So yeah, and the style is just amazing. The hand-drawn art style of it.
That game has style.
It's fucking awesome. It's just it's cool. It's just a good look. I think is it 15 or 20? It's no more than 20.
Yeah,
so
it's
$14.99.
I'm pretty sure it's 15, but like
if you've got a Switch and you're not playing Earth Atlantis, like you're not
playing Earth Atlantis.
You're just not.
Well, Corey,
you're not.
God damn it!
you're
How many
not-
times you run this stuff, and yet Moose and I need to tell you how to do it right.
You're just not living life properly.
I didn't say I was good at it.
So, anyways,
You're the one that said, "Sure, I'll podcast with you."
and then I agreed.
Yeah.
I agreed like an idiot. But anyways,
You told me you liked me. That was really all you needed to do to get me to come. You're like, hey, Matt, I like you. All right, I'm in.
Well, Matt, I still like you.
Thank you, Corey.
after all this time,
Yeah.
I still like them. So
I don't know what's worse though. You agreeing with me before we even knew what this was, or Moose joining us after about 40 episodes of knowing what this was.
yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Who's the bigger fool?
The fool or the people that follow the fool? You know?
My number 2 is Pyre by Supergiant Games.
Yeah.
I spoiled this, I think, last week in our categories episode. There was a moment in trying to figure out the best character category.
Right.
And the problem with Pyre is there's not one great character. There's an ensemble of great characters. On top of that, like these characters are fully formed, they're deep, and they react to the player's interaction with them. For instance, there is a dog named Rookie who is cool as fuck, and he has a mustache.
I've seen that, yeah.
And he will ask you if you like his mustache. And whether or not he keeps that mustache is contingent on your response. There's also Tizo, who has a nice twist in the game. Jordael, who has giant horns. And the characters on the other teams are just as deep without having the constant interaction that everybody on your team does. Supergiant knows how to write a fucking game. They know how to design characters. They know how to design mechanics. This game, and Moose and I have had this discussion. Bastion was fucking special. I think Pyre is my favorite game by them because this game had real world implications for me. Not really like in the way that you would. This wasn't like a religious experience, but there was a board game that I've been interested in for a couple of years now since I started kickstarting Dark Souls, the board game, called Guild Ball. Pyre is basically the video game manifestation of Guild Ball, and it made me want to go harder into Guild Ball. And hopefully one day when Supergiant says, hey, we should make a video game out of this, I hope they get Greg Kasavin and Gen Z on the phone and say, hey, here's our characters, here's our IP, make it.
Right.
I think it would be a marriage in heaven, and I will platinum Pyre at some point, just like I will platinum Bastion at some point.
Yeah.
But I don't know how soon that point is going to be. But Supergiant Games has made 3 impossibly impeccable home runs of games, and Pyre belongs at the top of anything in 2017. I wish my number 1 game wasn't better than Pyre, so I could put Pyre at number 1. Play Pyre, both of you.
Oh, I will. I'm gonna play it next year.
I mean, the art is cool. Like the music is cool. I'm waiting for that soundtrack to come out on vinyl. It's not. Okay. I looked earlier today. It's not. I'm also conflicted as to whether or not I'm going to drop $90 on Nier Automata on vinyl.
Whew.
But that's a different thing.
That's a whole another story.
But Pyre is fucking cool. If you play it and come to it with the chance that you will let it be, you will love it. Like, don't come into it saying this is what I want this to be, because you're doing it wrong if you go to any video game that way, except maybe Gears of War or Mass Effect Andromeda, because then you just fucking lying to yourself. Corey, you're number 2.
Okay, so I want to preface this by, like, I was working on this even while we were recording. I was thinking about this, and like, it's hard because not only are these two games, like, my number 1 and number 2, my favorite games this year, and maybe, like, they are on my all-time favorite games list also.
Okay.
Probably at number 1 and 2. They, like, both these games did something so good for the industry this year that it's just like, it was really hard to choose between these two, and it's more like 1A and 1B for me. But Horizon is my number 2 game this year. It did so much that it put my faith in Sony first party again, of like creating new IP, making a game that matters, doing storytelling well, making compelling characters, making the world feel alive, and making the robots that you fought unique and different every time you found one, and different ways to take them down. And Horizon, man, if any other year, this would have been my game of the year by a long shot. And I think Aloy is an amazing character. I think the story was great. I even think the DLC was great. Like, man, Horizon is a special game, and something that you can point to in Sony's first party catalog and say that game is special. And that's something Sony first party, for me at least, hasn't really done in a long time. And Horizon did that. And like I said, it's definitely in my top 3 favorite games of all time also. So like, man, this was like a really, really hard decision for me. But Horizon is my number 2 game. And I think it is the best first party Sony game, hands down, that they've put out in probably 2 or 3 generations.
Is this game higher on Moose's list?
I don't know. He didn't tell me. He just let me ramble and waited for you to pee.
Okay, good. Well, it was my number 9, so I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about it.
No.
Is that all right, Moose?
That's fine. Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine.
I think that in terms of its overall story, and I do believe this was my... Well, actually, I have the categories list. I believe this was my best story.
Someone actually takes notes.
Oh,
not
yeah.
Like phone notes, like pencil and paper notes. All right, man.
Yeah, I love writing shit down.
Way to clean yourself up in 2017.
You know, I gotta hold on to the past somehow. My name is Infinite Rewind. Horizon is a true leap forward in terms of story. I think this will probably be looked back on a lot more fondly than maybe Wolfenstein: The New Colossus.
Mm-hmm.
But with that and, you know, Hellblade's complete package in terms of both its story, its acting, its sound design, and the way everything sort of coalesces into one package, Horizon is a story I would want to read. And if for no other reason I would put a podcast on and run around that world killing metal anything.
Mm-hmm.
I liked going after the collectibles. I liked finishing the story. I actually think they did something in the collectibles that most video games aspire to do, and they wrapped up that story in a beautiful manner. I know Moose and I have had exchanges as to whether or not there will be a sequel. Mm-hmm. I haven't finished the Frozen Wilds, and I'll be 100% honest, and I think this is why it ended up being my number 9. I don't know if I will. Because every time I go in and try, I am distracted enough that I want to do something else.
Like play another game or do something else in the world.
Play another game or go do something, or play a board game or read or something else. I think I am just done with Horizon, to a point where I don't care if there's a sequel. Now, if they were to announce a sequel tomorrow, am I going to pre-order it? Fuck yes, because I'm not a moron. But like, I think that's where I'm at with Horizon.
You're pretty much done with this iteration.
Yeah, I think I am. Is there a chance I could go back and just say, yeah, I'll just finish it? Why not? Yeah, I'll probably do that. But don't put money on it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Horizon is just, it's one of those games of a generation, man, and like, you very rarely get that. And I think we've gotten probably 3 games of a generation at this point now. Mm-hmm. And it's like, Horizon, I think, is the best Sony has to offer, mm-hmm. honestly, like in terms of first party. And
I think, okay, sorry.
I was gonna say, like, Uncharted is great. I think they have a lot of interesting franchises to work with. I know The Last of Us is something a lot of people are looking forward to. And that game is great in its own right. But like, Horizon does so many things well, and it all comes together cohesively at the end in a way that most games don't. Yeah. And I've played the Frozen Wilds. I've played through it, and it's like, I think that DLC is meant to be played during a regular playthrough of that game. Like, it's just really weird how they put like the middle of a game as DLC, but like, it was still like, it was cool to learn about the Banuk tribe and everything, and to fight that big bear and everything right at the beginning of it. And it was really cool. But I don't know, man. It was tough. Like I said, like, my number 1 and number 2 games aren't only my games of 2017. They are probably some of my favorite games of all time, no doubt. And I know I've harped on Horizon, and like, I don't think Aloy feels right. I think she needs to be a little bit more agile. I think, some of the weapons could be tuned different. But like, if they do that, man, that's like, Horizon, yeah, like Horizon 2 is going to be, it's going to be unstoppable. And like, I can't wait for Horizon 2. I want more Horizon. I think about that game. I've thought about that game so much this year. I've thought about that game more than Zelda this year.
Yeah. I think as a game, and I think we've mentioned it before, a game that this developer has made first-person shooters. So this is the first time they're trying to move into
something else.
A different perspective, a different style of game, different way to tell their story, different like combat mechanics, like everything, and to like not only try it, but to hit everything really well. That's fucking phenomenal. Like, you don't get a lot of developers that can do that. So for them to like hit a grand slam, it's amazing, and I look forward to seeing what they do with the series. I would to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the next Horizon is a launch title for the PS5 because the PS5 is coming. And it's probably going to come in 2020, and that would be 3 years for them to work on the next Horizon and just be like, oh, hey, guess what? You loved Horizon on PS4. We've got the launch title on PS5. You know what I mean? Like that, they would be stupid not to do that. But yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, so. Definitely.
All right, so that's everybody's number 2.
Yep, sure is.
So why don't we talk about
honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions.
I will do my honorable mentions real quick. Prey.
Yeah, these are all going to be quick fire. We don't have to.
So Prey is an honorable mention. Songbringer is an honorable mention. You know, I wanted to play that game, but played a little bit of it. But I don't like horror games. It's not a horror game, but it gives me extreme anxiety. So I have an issue with that. The Mimic, but see, I understand Bloodborne, and Bloodborne has a little bit of different of a system of control and a different way of like messing with your anxiety. Mm-hmm. I can control my anxiety when I play Bloodborne. Prey is a little bit different because the Mimic could be a cup one playthrough, and the next time you come in that room, it's like a fucking computer or TV. Spoilers if you don't know anything about the
or it's game. A piece of paper.
Yeah, or it's a piece of paper. So it's just you're freaking hitting everything with a wrench when you go in a room. But anyways, I did hear Jesse White did state that there is a piece of equipment you can get later on that you can go into the room and scan, and it'll tell you what's a Mimic. So I'm looking forward to getting back to it and playing it and having fun with it, And
I'm gonna get that, and I'm gonna find me some Mimics.
I'm gonna get that and try to what I'm like to play, but definitely wish I could have played more of that.
You're gonna be hunting them down. You're gonna be like, every Mimic has to die. It's like me in Dark Souls. I kill every Mimic because they are aberrations of nature and they need to die.
And then my last honorable mention would be Persona 5. What I've played of it, I've enjoyed. Very artistic. Liked it, like the combat system. I definitely need to play more of that. So I think I'll try and play that and beat that in 2018. So those are my honorable mentions.
Nice.
Okay, my honorable mentions first and foremost, because it's not a full game. Dark Souls 3: The Ring City. Might actually be the best Dark Souls DLC in the series. Number 2, old game, Windjammers. Game's fun. If you haven't played it, fucking play it. The online's not broken. It's fun. Sure, BU's not in it, but Windjammers is great. 3, Fortnite Battle Royale. Game's not out yet. I haven't played the actual Fortnite. But Battle Royale is a good goddamn time, and it makes me look forward to PUBG. Splatoon 2, bad campaign, great multiplayer. Never Stop Sneaking. Yeah, never stop sneaking and play that game. Sonic Mania. Sonic's not a joke anymore, or at least it wasn't until Sonic Forces came out.
Gosh, dude.
Did you play that on Switch?
Yeah.
They went from making Sonic Mania and giving Sonic.
Well, it wasn't them that made Sonic Mania. They handed Sonic Mania to a bunch of fans.
I know Christian Whitehead made it, and I get it, but they pulled Sonic out of the deepest hole of jokery,
and then brought out Sonic Forces.
Brought out Sonic Forces, which is the epitome of the joke of Sonic, where you can create your own freaking character, which is like every Sonic fan's dream is to be a Sonic character.
Yeah, no,
and send it right back to the hole. They're like,
yep, it's like, oh, all of you who really loved Sonic Mania, here's Sonic Forces.
Yeah.
We're not sorry. Earth Atlantis, Golf Story, Cosmic Star Heroine, and Mario Rabbids King of Battle. Every game on my honorable mentions is worth somebody's time. My top 10 is worth everybody's time, in my opinion.
Nice.
Corey,
honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions, Splatoon 2, like Matt said, terrible campaign. Like it's It's a weird campaign. I don't know if it's terrible or not. I didn't even finish it, but the multiplayer is fantastic. Gravity Rush 2 is a game that probably would have made my top 10 if I played enough of it. I've literally only played about an hour and a half of it.
I completely forgot that game came out this year.
I know, right? And like
it's like January, February. I
yeah,
think
it came out. It came out.
Like I remember Bruce and I were
2 weeks.
arguing about it. We're like, "Is that going to be good?" I'm like, "No, I'm going to fucking play it."
It literally came out 2 weeks before Horizon.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was in February.
It was like it was a week after Resident Evil 7 and 2 weeks before Horizon, and it's like, oh,
they fucking doomed that game, and it's amazing. Like all the reviewers are like, "This game's so much fucking fun to play."
I know, and that's why.
Well, I don't think they doomed it. I think it just sucked that it came out this year because there were so many great games.
Yeah. ARMS, giving a big shout out to ARMS. I think ARMS is amazing. The game is so dumb. And like
I love that you're on board with this the way you are. I really do.
Look, okay, so it wouldn't be on my honorable mentions list until they let you map any control to any button on the Pro Controller, and it made me so happy. And that's why it gets an honorable mention, because Nintendo finally learned that people don't want to play the way you want them to. So, ARMS is great, dude. Nice. Urban for life. Woo! Shovel Knight Spectre of Torment. I wasn't allowed to put it on my top 10 because it's an expansion pack.
Who said this? No one said you weren't allowed.
You said it last week when we were doing categories.
Did I?
Yeah, you said you can't choose that. That's DLC.
Because you had that for best indie, right?
Cold.
Yeah.
It's cold, man.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I'll raise my hand. I'm the asshole on this one. Fine.
I will pull the Dan Reichert card and say, check the tape.
No, it's fine. I already admitted it. I already commit harakiri here right on the show. I'm not going to do that.
Since it's a re-release, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It is the best Mario Kart, and now you can take it with you.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm with you. Keep that shit off your top 10.
Yeah. Uncharted.
Otherwise, Windjammers is like number 1 on mine.
Yeah. Uncharted Lost Legacy is the perfect size for an Uncharted game. And it was just fun. I actually had more fun with that than I did Uncharted 4, which was surprising.
Oh, crap. Ray Osorio we're gonna hear it from him.
Yep. Bring it on, Ray. Bring it on. Bring it. Pyre, the art's fantastic, and I played one game of the religious basketball, and it was super fun, and I never went back.
Gotta play more.
Fortnite, it's really fun, but it's not out yet. NBA 2K18, specifically the Switch version. It is the full game, and it works like it's supposed to.
Nice.
Like as much as Doom gets praised for being a current gen port of a game that works well, I think NBA 2K18 deserves just as much praise as Doom does. It's fantastic.
And that actually reminds me, I forgot to add FIFA 18 to my honorable.
Yeah,
mentions.
FIFA 18 is also on that list.
Nice.
WWE 2K18, not on that list.
Guy, that was a good hoodwink, Corey. I was like, what?
I know. I saw your face. I was like,
those games are always bad.
I know, but the Switch version, they're like, everybody says it's like playing it in slow motion. So
I might be good at it then. All right.
Maybe. South Park Whole is on my list. I don't like.
What is this? The top 20 honorable mentions?
Yeah, this is my last one. Shut up. I don't like it as well as the first game, but it's fun. It's the superhero thing really works for the RPG-ness of that game, but it's not as cohesive as that first game. It kind of feels like it's jumping all over the place, but still, it's really funny. Some of the writing's really funny, and when you fight Randy, it's pretty funny. It's probably the best boss fight ever in an RPG. So, also the strip club scene in that game, very weird, very, very weird. Bunch of drunk guys think kids are just some strippers, and it's really weird. It's really weird to see the kid with diabetes grinding up on some drunk guy.
I mean, to me, it sounds like South Park.
I mean, it's totally South Park, but it's just like, ooh, Yeah. So, but yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
Goddamn Scott Malkinson.
I've got Malkinson. I have diabetes.
All right.
Diabetes is not a joke. I'm sorry.
All right. Let's bring this ship to a halt. Moose, your best game, or no, your favorite game of 2017.
My number one game of the year is Horizon Zero Dawn. And I did not stop Corey to say, hey, it's higher on my list because I didn't want to spoil it. Plus, we were going to talk about it right after he finished. And I forgot about the honorable mentions. Anyways, the only thing everything we talked about, when Corey talked about it, Matt talked about it, and I talked about it. Great combat, just freaking running around, just killing robot anything. I mean, I was so overpowered when I had to do you have to go to a city outside of your area, and it's like a level 16 quest. I was twice the level by the time I decided to go do that quest because I was having so much fun running around and just shooting and killing the robot animals. It was a blast. And doing the cauldrons and then doing the hunting grounds. So I didn't have any problem with the hunting grounds later in the game just because I had I had all the points, I had everything unlocked. So it was like nothing, but just a great step for Studio in a new direction that they're moving away from Killzone, like a first-person shooter. A great new IP for Sony. The real reason that it is on my list is because it helped form my friendship with Jason and Jeff, because we met, we would just be talking about it in Fathers of the Grind, and then I would get home and just be on and hop on to play Horizon, and I would see Jeff's in a party. So I just hop in the party and we just talk about the game and how much we're enjoying it. So it's not a game that you can play together, but it was a cool game for us to just chat about and just get to know each other and have a lot of fun. I feel like it's our version of Helldivers. That was for you, Matt, and Phillips and I. It's Jeff, mine, and Jason's version of Helldivers. Just having a lot of fun playing it and chatting with each other. And so that's the biggest reason it's my number one game, just because I enjoyed it so much, but then it also helped me, make friends with the two of them. And now I do a freaking podcast on a weekly basis. So, you never know. So anyways, number one game.
Have a nice cup of liberty, sir.
That's right. That's my number one game. Matt?
Nice.
I'm feeling I know what both your teams are.
I'm going to bet dollars to donuts that Corey and I have the same number one.
Yes, and I bet you dollars to donuts I can guess it.
Is your number one Barbie Horse Adventures 2?
Oh, fuck.
Wait,
mine's Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Dang it.
No, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is my number one.
Called that.
That's also my number one.
Now, since it is my turn, I'm going to go first, Corey.
That's fine.
No disrespect. This game, more so, during our B-Sides episode that I think will go out, remind me, Corey, it'll go out before this?
After.
Okay, well, you're going to hear how I waxed poetic about how Dark Souls sort of recontextualized my love of video games. Very much how Rich at IGN talked about how Skyward Sword went to the beginning of Legend of Zelda. Skyward Sword was not a 10. I don't care what metric you want to use. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild made me want to think about my love of video games again. Not rethink it, not change it, but when you walk out of that first, when Link wakes up and walks out of that area and you see the bright sun over Hyrule, and you're in this gated area that you have to do a certain few things and then kill fucking Santa Claus so you can actually go into the world. Spoiler alerts, you kill Santa Claus.
No, you don't. What are you talking about?
I always called him broke ass Santa. I always did.
Yeah, but you don't kill him.
You don't kill him.
Well, he's already dead.
But you don't kill him.
Have you done this, Moose?
Yeah. Yeah, I played it.
You kill him. He's like, now I'm dead. Okay, I played this on Wii U earlier in the year. I haven't revisited. Fucking whatever. All I know is that game reminded me of all of the best times I'd ever had playing RPGs. It's not an RPG. I get it. But it reminded me of all those times that I had played RPGs and felt like a beast. And without leveling up any specific stat, I could walk up to any enemy and beat it with whatever I had. You didn't have to find the Master Sword. You didn't have to find the Hyrule Shield. You just had to use your fucking wits. And then on top of that, just about everywhere you go in that game, from an exploratory standpoint, gives you something. It might not be what you were looking for. Like, you might have seen a little glimmer of a thing at the top of a mountain. It might just be some arrows. But it made you go up there, and it gave you something. You were not empty. You are not walking away empty-handed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, like, the shrines, is that what they are, Corey? The shrines? Mm-hmm. They're fun as hell. They are nice little puzzles. They're the
best part of the game by far.
They not only display what Zelda actually is, they accentuate it to the point of just majesty. And then you get to the actual dungeons, which are deep into the game by the time you've gotten to one, but you're never overpowered because there's not really a leveling system. Mm-hmm. And then there are surprise enemies that show up, those giant stone things. I forget what they're called. Oh, and you can tame and ride a fucking bear.
Yeah, you can.
Your move, Far Cry. That game is so cool. And if you haven't been there, find Eventide Island and go to it.
Yeah, dude, that was cool.
That is one of the coolest things of the year, without being my coolest thing of the year. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Thank you for making me love video games again. Like, I never really stopped, but I never knew it could get better.
Well, there's always like, you always hit that part in your life where you're like, why am I not enjoying this game? Am I growing out of games? Am I like just in a slump or whatever? And like,
I just want to play Dark Souls?
Honestly, a lot of like 2015 and 2016, I had that where I was like, I really only played a lot of like a couple games, and some games were great. Like Rise of the Tomb Raider was a game that I was like, oh man, I'm really enjoying this game. But there's usually just one game that makes me realize, okay, this is why I love games. This is why I keep playing games. And this is why, even if, 1, 2, 3 games in a row don't really grab me, I still keep playing games because, there's something special about it. There's something that grabs you. And Zelda, like, 2 games did that for me this year, was Zelda and Horizon, and now Assassin's Creed. Like 3 games did that for me this year. And that's awesome. That's such an awesome feeling when you're like, man, this is why I love games. And Zelda, I played it first out of the 3 because like I knew the Switch was coming out and I got really excited. I didn't want to play Horizon and Zelda at the same time.
You got all the Korok seeds.
I did. I mean, I've done everything in that game up to the DLC, which is like, I don't really care about the DLC, to be quite honest with you.
You sound like, when you were talking about the DLC, you sound like where I'm at with the Frozen Wilds.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's more Zelda. Like I want to do the Divine Beast and everything, but like I'm enjoying myself with all these other games right now, plus my backlog of games that I haven't gotten to, plus the games I got for Christmas. It's like, look, I've played 230 hours of Zelda already. I don't need to really do more of what I've been doing for that long. But that said, like, I put 230 hours into Zelda to do everything. Like, that's more hours than I put into anything else this year combined, probably.
Even Destiny 2.
Yeah, especially Destiny 2. Jesus. I think I put more hours into Horizon than I did Destiny 2, which I got my first platinum this year too in Horizon, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, popping that cherry.
Yeah.
Welcome to the addiction, my child.
And like I want to go back in Platinum Hellblade. I missed one of the stupid statues, and like you can't go back in chapter select.
Oh, I missed like 6 of them. I'm not even kidding. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna play it again.
Not that game is like super long or anything, but it's just like, man, I missed one. Are you kidding me? But Zelda is like, the shrines are probably what Zelda does so well is that it takes such a large game and makes it easy to break it up into chunks. Where like I can play for 20 minutes, I can find a shrine, do that puzzle, and turn it off and feel like I accomplished something, or I can go to this area of the map I've never been before, fight some stuff, get some resources, maybe find a cool weapon and feel like I did something, you know. Or you can sit and play it for 3 or 4 hours and really dive into the divine beasts and the story memories, and, you know, really explore Hyrule Castle if you really feel the need to. And it's like, that game does so many things so well that, like, for me, like, the weakest part of the games were the divine beasts.
You know what I fucking love doing in that game? I'm gonna say it right now. Cooking.
Yeah.
Cooking in Zelda is goddamn fun. Hearing that pseudo power station knockoff, just the and either you get something good that'll really, really help you, or you'll get pixelated garbage. And
true,
it'll still do something for you, but not as much as getting, you know, a nice plate of, well, you know the adjectives more than I do because you played it longer.
Like if you find like the mighty radishes, they'll give you more hearts. If you find like the electric mushrooms, they'll give you like you'll be impervious to lightning for a while.
You can do the electric slide.
Yeah, and like the different arrows, it's just, man, it was
like there is a, like, we talked about Mario Odyssey's sense of joy. Breath of the Wild has a sense of wonder. You look at that world and it's like that final comic in Calvin and Hobbes, like, let's go have an adventure. And I was immediately on board to the point where I spent, I'll guess, 20 hours in that game before I killed broke-ass Santa. Just because I like wandering around and fighting stuff with a stick. Like, yeah, I don't have a sword, but come on, Goblin, I got a stick. What you got, bro? And I beat it every time, felt like a goddamn warrior. And then I decided maybe I should go do what the game told me to do and do the shrines or whatever I had to do to kill broke-ass Santa and get my glider so I could go into proper Hyrule and wander around a bit. I wandered around that way too much, and then I said, you know what, I should just fucking beat this game. And then I beat the game. But beating the game in the way that I did, where I just sort of blitzed my way through it, was not unsatisfying.
Yeah.
Because if you're just doing something to finish, usually you're just like, yeah, I'm done, I'm out. That game hung in my memory. It still hangs in my memory.
Yeah.
Like,
Like I'm telling you, like 2 games this year came out and that are on my top 10 games of all time. And like they might as well just be sitting at number 1 and 2 on that list too. Like Breath of the Wild grabbed me in a way that Zelda has not grabbed me in a long time. You know, I honestly, like, Twilight Princess was the last Zelda that really grabbed me like this, and even that game didn't do it. Like, you know, Twilight Princess is a game that holds a special place in my heart for certain reasons, but Breath of the Wild is the same thing, but in a positive way. And like everything that game did, and it launched with a new system, which was great. But like, I mean, in all honesty, like our number 1 game is a Wii U game, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, a lot of people's number 1 game is on fucking Wii U.
Yeah, and I don't really know how else.
I think that's Nintendo having the last laugh, gentlemen. I really do.
Yep.
Like, hey, our prototype for this portable thing that y'all fucking love just gave you one of the best games ever made.
Yeah. So
mic drop.
But that said, like, I don't really know how much else we can really say about Breath of the Wild. It's just it's a special game. It's
we could say 2 words to anybody about Breath of the Wild: play it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
I agree.
It's one of the best Nintendo games of all time, and
yeah,
I don't care how you play it, you should just play it. So
yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna run down the top 10 from our community real quick, and I have done the math while we've been talking, and I will run down our top 10 games of 2017 for Nerds Gone Rogue. So our community vote, the way it worked is you could vote on the games that you enjoyed the most this year. Yes, you could make multiple votes on multiple games. I know some people were commenting on that, and it's like,
get over yourselves. It's a fucking poll on Facebook.
I thought there was 4 or 5 games that could have potentially been game of the year, and I didn't even play all the games that came out this year. So I voted for 5 games. So but so how we did this was the poll kind of ranked them for us in terms of votes. So 10, Persona 5
sweet.
2 games tied for 10. Assassin's Creed Origins and Persona 5 tied at 10. Neo at 9. Cuphead at 8.
Nice.
Injustice 2 at 7. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle at 6. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice at 5. SteamWorld Dig 2 at 4. Super Mario Odyssey at 3. Horizon Zero Dawn at 2. And Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild at 1, which makes our top 10. There's a 4-way tie for number 9. So number 10, The End Is Nigh.
Yes.
And this,
yes.
And Nerds Gone Rogue's Game of the Year list is combining the community with our personal top 10s. So the community got a vote, and then we each got a vote on these games. So number 10, The End Is Nigh. 4-way tie for number 9, Persona 5, Assassin's Creed Origins, Earth Atlantis, and Pyre.
Yes! I'll take all of it.
Number 8 is Injustice 2. Number 7, Nier Automata.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Number 5, Super Mario Odyssey.
Word.
Number 4, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. Number 3, Neo. Number 2, Horizon Zero Dawn. And winning our game of the year is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Sounds good.
You know what, NCR community? You have paid me back for screwing over Dark Souls last year.
What, by getting 10, The End Is Nigh on the list?
That, yeah, but no, like, this top 10 is actually really fucking good.
It's a good top 10 list for 2018.
It's a good,
or 2017. I mean,
like, if I were to, like, I had a coworker ask me about games on Nintendo Switch, and I was trying to just say, like, she has kids, so I'm trying to think of games that come for that. But if anybody were to come to me and say, hey, what are games I should play on any system, I would say, look at NGR's top 10. That's a pretty good smattering of what came out last year.
Yeah, and then the 5 games that didn't make it that maybe could have been on the list too. We had SteamWorld Dig 2, Next Machina, Snipper Clips, Sundered, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Fortnite, Strafe, Wolfenstein 2, Destiny 2, and Mages of
Mystralia.
So those are the bonus games, I guess you could call them.
We're none of us are professionals. We all have our own jobs and lives outside of video games, but pat yourselves on the back, gentlemen. We've done good.
This is a good, well-rounded list for this group of people right here.
Yeah, like we and our community have done fantastic. Everybody who might listen to this, thank you so much. I don't know if it means anything at all, but y'all have done great. And I cannot wait for 2018 now. Thank you so much for this year. Moose, where can we find you?
You can find me at Sven on PSN, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find me co-hosting with Jeff and Jason, Nerds Gone Platinum, which goes up usually every Thursday. I don't know about this week because we recorded last night. But you can send us questions, comments, and concerns, or tweet us at NG_platinum on Twitter, or email us at nerdsgoneplatinum@gmail.com. So we check out our latest episode. We did a challenge for next year, put a list up of 50, then the other two hosts selected 20, and there's $50 payout to the other hosts if you do not complete your list by the end of the year. So we got some good lists of 20 games we have to beat next year.
No disrespect to Mr. Hefe and Gippy J. I'm pulling for you, Sven.
I appreciate it. Anyways, where can we find you?
I am Infinite_Rewind on Twitter, PS4, and Instagram. Those are really the only social media platforms you'll find me on. Hit me up if you want to know my Switch code. Fucking ask, because I don't memorize it. I am actually going to be doing a write-up of my 10 games as well as my honorable mentions and regrets for ngrradio.com, as well as my 20 albums of 2017 soon. I've started both pieces. I have not finished them, but my goal is to have both of them go up on January 1st.
Nice.
Figure that.
Good luck with that.
You're hearing this on January 1st. If it's not up by the time you hear this,
he's a fucking liar.
Well, DM me, hold my feet to the fire, because I've worked on stuff that I shouldn't be working. I've worked on stuff that is not my passion for long enough. I need to work on my passion now. I'm hoping to make another appearance on the Brew Review at some point soon. I've just not had the energy nor the time. And Matt and the B Flats there's an episode about to release at this point, and we will be recording again. Neither of those shows are done. Life just happens sometimes. Corey, take us home.
Okay, before I get into all my stuff, like Matt said and Moose and everything, this has been a fantastic year for NGR Radio. I want to thank everybody who's listening and has been a part of the community and voting and posting stuff in groups and tweeting questions and emailing us questions. And season 3 of Let's Play 20 Questions is starting next week. So Moose and Matt have tied for season 2, so I'm going to let them fight over.
Moose, you've got yourself a $20 PSN card.
Yeah. Even though I still need to give Matt his from last season. So, whoops. Don't worry, Matt. I have something for you that you are going to love.
I know.
And thank you so much for making not only this show big, but Nerds Gone Platinum big, Nintendo Power Block big. Our family of shows has grown significantly this year, and it's been a blast doing podcasts and stuff. I just wanted to do a dumb little show with Matt because it's fun and we didn't have to keep up with everything. And now
it's dumb, all right.
Now look at us. We're making top 10 lists, and we're almost like one of them fancy news places.
Giant Bomb, call us, please.
Yeah. Can we be Tiny Bomb?
Yeah.
Tiny
We'll
Bomb.
be Mini Bomb.
Yeah.
Mini bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
Mini
call us-
Bombs.
You can call us Firecracker. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nerds Gone M80, son.
Oh, jeez. But you can find me at CoreyNHD on Twitter and Instagram. You can email the show at ngrradiopodcast@gmail.com for topics. I have a bunch saved up, so we don't have to think of any after this big, huge brain gobble of
Nice.
Game of the Year stuff. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter and now on Instagram at NGR Radio Podcast. And you can find me on PSN at Rogue Spartan 4. And
If he's not hiding.
yeah.
He's always hiding.
Nope, I'm not hiding anymore. Nobody's playing Destiny anymore, so I don't have to hide anymore.
You're coming to get that Bloodborne plat.
Also, bonus episode incoming with Chris Haar, Ellen Heinen.
Yeah, it should be up
myself.
by the time this goes up. So
Okay.
Nice.
I'm putting it
That'll
up.
be
Tomorrow.
Moose and I deliberately avoided doing our Game of the Year stuff there.
Mhm.
But I feel like that was an entertaining episode. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed just doing a little sound effects because I got to make things fun.
Yeah, speaking of which, we need to get some of those guys more involved. I know, Matt,
This is
I
true.
talked to you about some of that. But
This is true.
Alan,
Alan, coming for you. Chris, come back more. And I think that's it for 2017.
yeah, that's it. 2017's a
For
wrap.
the sake of Old Lang Syne,
Hope everybody had a great and safe New Year. And yeah, see you in 2018.
Happy New Year.
Peace. Happy New Year.
Hope
Banana and out.
my favorite is the Akron Rubber Ducks.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah. Because Akron is the rubber city. So we have the Rubber Ducks.
That's even better.
All right,
don't
you
know
guys.
What?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't know why they weren't called the Rubber City Rubber Ducks, but whatever.
Well, surprised they're not called the Rubbernex.
Ah,
There you go. It's even better.
Yeah.
sponsored by Trojan.
Word.
What?
Yeah.
Get it? Because it's rubbers.
Oh, I get it.
It ain't making me laugh, but I get it.
You laugh. Damn it. All right.
I think
So-
I'm going to get a different hat. I can't get over how dumb I look in this thing. I'll be
You
right
look
back.
awesome.
Shut up.
No. Hats are cool.
I didn't realize we were going live already. All right, great.
I mean, I just, you know, it's the end of the year. We need some bloopers. We need to talk about rubbers and ducks and whalers and jackets and I don't know.
Bring the Whalers back. Just bring them back.
bring
bring
them
it
back.
Bring them back. I want them back. They
Moose
were the
is
first
like,
hockey
bring
team
back-
I ever liked.
bring
Moose
back.
doesn't care. Moose doesn't care.
Moose is like, bring back when I get home when it's sunny outside.
Yeah. bring back coming home from work in the daytime.
Before 6 o'clock would be fucking great.
Look at you representing Philly with your Rita's.
Yeah, motherfuckers.
Rita's redundant food.
Hey.
Yeah.
Water ice. That's what it's called.
Oh, I know. I like their Mistos more, though.
Oh.
Those are delicious.
Yeah, that's one thing I've not been able to get behind since moving here. I don't give a fuck about water ice.
It's understandable.
There goes my mic. Great.
All right. Let's get the show going. I got to be at work early tomorrow.
No, you don't. Don't lie.
Yeah, I do. Well, actually, I might not go until 8:39, but
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
There you
I'm not
Moose.
going in at all tomorrow. Yeah.
I'm not working, but I got a shit ton of shit to do.
I will be honest. There is a 50% chance that I might not go into work tomorrow. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edit
They
that
don't-
part out so they can't
Yeah.
incriminate him.
and they don't know that.
It's fine. You're only live on the biggest video channel ever created.
Word.
Yeah, bigger
In
than
YouTube. In YouTube, not in us.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, before we start Game of the Year stuff, I want to introduce a new segment, Matt.
Okay.
Wait.
But I don't have it.
No, here's the other thing. Are we doing 20 questions tonight?
No.
So
No.
when do we end that challenge? Since this is practically the last show of the year. Is it not year to year? Or is it like calendar date to calendar date? What are we doing with that?
I don't know, Matt. What do you want to do with it?
I mean, Moose and I are tied. I got last year. I'll just give it to him this year.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll
You
give
could-
it to Moose this year.
You can give it to me. For
You at
being
least
last
have to
place.
tie him. Nah.
I'm just kidding.
Moose, I'm sorry. You don't have
No,
a
if
dog in
you
this
added
fight
up-
because
if you-
you're the person being discussed. So,
If you added up the points from last year and this year, I still wouldn't have tied Matt.
what was your? No, I think you would have tied me
Oh, well,
because you
doesn't
got two
matter.
last year. I know that.
it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
but you did a great job of pulling some out of your ass this year.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I think you and Phillips are the two main reasons Moose is tied with me.
Yo, yeah. What was it? Booger Man?
Yeah,
Phillips
Boogerman
got
and
Booger Man.
Alien
And-
Hominid.
and-
And I don't think you guys have pulled any. I don't think you guys have pulled any others like that.
no.
I still think the best was when I pulled Blaster Master out of my ass on Ed
Nice.
because he. I mean, I'm sitting here like just listing platform or like whatever that type of game is, and he went, and I'm like, someone doesn't know how a game works. And I'm like, is it Blaster Master? He's like, yes, it is. I'm like, oh, great.
All right. Let's do this. I want to do that thing I just messaged you about.
A B-side. This is a
Yeah.
B-side. This is a
Yeah.
B-side. It's like Rebel Without a Pause by Public Enemy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yes. The rhythm. The rebel. Oh, wait. No, that's a different thing.
this is going to debut on Thursday, next Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to
Cannibalizing Platinum. I like it.
Yeah. So basically what it is I just want like a little YouTube video to go up like midway through the week. Just, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. We just freestyling this?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to do a little intro,
Okay.
like a mini intro. And then between this and then the Game of the Year episode, there'll be like a 5-second pause so I know where to cut it when I edit
Okay.
it. So, all right.
B-side Nana and out.
Peace.
Yeah. I almost hit stop broadcast. But we're going to keep going. This is a yeah.
Okay. You remember the plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Do I want to put my Christmas hat on? My Santa hat?
No, Christmas already happened.
But
Don't be a dick.
Who, me or him?
Him.
Okay.
both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, dicks.
Whoa. Whoa. I don't think that means what you think it means. Or maybe it does. I don't know.
I don't know.
To quote Seinfeld, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Oh, okay. Everybody ready? Everybody got their list?
Yep.
Oh gosh, now I got to do math on this show. I need a piece of paper.
What do you mean math?
We got to add up points to see what NGR's game of the year is, bro.
We already know what it is. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's
Dude,
totally fine.
I was going through my list today, and I still wasn't sure what my game of the year was. So.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna get some flack for my list.
Yeah, well,
Right now
I am too. So let's get it out of the way. Let's just do it.